A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Here this evening, now, the Goldbergs. The whole circle that revolves accused to marry Sammy, and she evidently meant it. And now, the Goldbergs. The whole circle that revolves about Sylvia Ellison received a shock earlier this evening, for Sylvia bluntly refused to marry Sammy, and she evidently meant it. Her father and Jake were amazed, and Sammy went white. But Molly was calm. Molly has had infinite trust in young Dr. Cater, who's been treating Sammy and Sylvia. Christopher Cater is a psychologist, and Molly knows that he has predicted what at this moment is going on inside Sammy's mind. Listen.
Sammy, let me help you.
I'm all right. Sylvia likes it. It's Dr. Cater so much. Why doesn't she stay there?
Sammy,
oh, don't help me. I don't need any help.
Sammy.
Please.
Rosalind, go up.
How does Sammy know that Sylvia went over to Dr. Cater?
Now, please.
No, Molly. We're exactly where we started at the beginning.
We're not. Go up, Rosalind.
Oh, all right, Mark.
Where did Mr. Allison go?
To send a telegram.
To whom?
Home to say he couldn't leave yet.
Send a telegram home?
Uh-huh.
Who told you that?
She told me.
Oh. So go up to Sammy, Rosalind.
I'm going now.
Sit down, please. Stop walking up and down and stop walking hither and thither. Please. Sit down, Jake.
Get me something, Molly, before I fall to pieces.
All right. I will. What?
Anything.
Bicarbonate?
Let me bicarbonate. A fine pudding was served up. Would I have stayed in South Carolina until the boy was well? What did I have to bring him home for?
All right.
What did you need psychologists for? All my life I got along without psychologists.
Please. So drink it down.
My wife wants to keep up with the times, my wife.
So drink.
Who knows what a doctor stirred up in Sammy's mind? Who knows?
Drink.
And you are not worried, huh?
I have confidence.
You can say that when you see that with your very eyes that the boy is going from bad to worse. How can you say that, Paul?
Jake, did we want Sylvia to marry Sammy? We didn't. So she told him she wouldn't. That's all.
But look at him, Molly.
I looked and I saw and I know, but I remember. I remember that Dr. Cater said this would be. Exactly. He said that's Sammy's reaction. That's the reaction to the subconscious of the unconscious. And nobody ever died from jealousy, Jake.
And from heartbreak, no? Oh, Molly.
Drink, Jake. Drink. I have confidence. I'm not worrying. I'm calm. And who worries quicker than me, Jake? Who? And if I can see family worrying and I don't worry, Jake, and if I can have confidence, then you can have confidence.
I'm not you, Molly.
All right.
All I can see is that it was there for Sammy when Dr. Cater, with his unconscious and subconscious...
All right, Jake, now, please. Without the subconscious and without the unconscious. Here, now. Look, you're falling to pieces here, Mama. It's like the crisis when you're sick. At the very moment when the patient looks the worst, the doctor turns to the parents and he says, all will be well. And all will be well, Jake.
Well, I'm not a medical doctor like you, Molly. I'm not a psychoanalyst or psychologist or whatever. I'm a father.
And I'm a mother. And the mother worried like two fathers. I have confidence, Jake. For the first time, I can lift my head and I can say, all will be well. Drink, Jake. No, drink. All the way down. All the way down. Drink it. Let me worry. Let me worry. Drink. Not that. All together. Drink.
As Jake gulps down his bicarbonate, Christopher Cater and his father, the village doctor, are sitting on the porch of their house in the village. Christopher relights his pipe, and the flaring match throws his lean head into relief. It's a moonlit night, and a fine haze lies over everything. The cricket sounds are magnified in the pleasant quiet.
Chris? Yes, Dad? You haven't said a thing all night on how your patient is coming. Oh, they're coming along. They? Well, that's fine. Then I suppose you'll be getting back to work in a couple of weeks. Yes, that's the schedule. I guess I ought to be thankful to the Goldbergs for keeping you here 2 weeks longer than I expected. And to Sylvia. She's the real case. The real case? Yes. The boy's just a bundle of heartache. If he hadn't been hurt in the accident and had time to think of how injured he was, he'd be back in the world. How did the young people say it again? Back in circulation. You sure? Sure enough. You're not just a little prejudiced, are you? In what way? In Sylvia Allison's favor. Just a little. I like her. And you don't like Sammy? Well, he's a nice boy. A little too infatuated with a sense of how grown up he is. See, Father, young people should have humility, or else they don't become good citizens. Oh, Sylvia Allison has humility, I suppose. Oh, not yet, but she's learning. Yes, humility is a great religious virtue which has passed a little too rapidly from the world. Nowadays, people think if you're ambitious and energetic, you're entitled to everything you can lay your hands on. Gentleness is a vice, etc. Sammy was always a nice boy. Well, you see, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking in general. Well, Sammy will be all right as soon as he can get to understand what he's doing. If he doesn't? Doesn't? He will. And what does Sylvia need? Sylvia? Something or someone to love. Doesn't she love Sammy? Pooh. What is that? Pooh. Oh, just a shorthand way of saying that Sammy isn't anywhere in Sylvia's class when it comes to living. Now... I don't get you. Well, I mean that Sammy won't mature for years yet. He's, how shall I say it? Unripened, unworked. Mm-hmm. He needs time and experience before we can tell what he is. But Sylvia's younger than he is. No, not the way I mean. He could be one of those ageless women. What's that? I was just quoting from a poet. I don't like it. Poetry? You quoting from it. That Sylvia's a handsome girl. Well, no crime. But you can see it, and that's a bad sign. If I didn't know you were a great psychologist and probably understand yourself... Let me warn you, Dad. When a psychologist falls in love, he joins the great ranks of lovers, drunkards, and fools. Blind, obstinate, and intent on their own destruction. Yes, exactly. Someone must be coming along the road. All right, boy. Someone is coming. That looks like Sylvia. I can't see who it is. I can tell from the way she walks. Where are you going, Chris? Sylvia's probably on her way to see me. Oh, by appointment? I don't remember. If I didn't know this was a case involving a doctor and a patient, I'd begin to get worried, Chris. Don't worry. I think I'd better if you start joining the great ranks. I'm no fool. And you're no drunkard. Then what's the danger? Well, there were 3 kinds of soldiers in that army, Chris. Drunkards, fools, and lovers. Lovers? Good night, dear father.
And as Dr. Christopher Cater turns away with a laugh, his father sits wondering.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. You get a call from an officer in another division. He's come across some information about a robbery. Your job? Check it out.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, May 18th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief Detective Thad Brown. My name's Friday. We were on our way down from the office. It was 10:47 a.m. when we got to the R&I counter. Coke machine.
I don't see him.
No?
It's quite a gadget, huh, Joe?
What?
A machine here. Real piece of work.
Sure is.
Here you are.
Thank you.
You stop and figure, Joe. All the wires in there. Levers. Must be a couple hundred wheels.
Yeah. Johnny say why he wanted to see us?
Mm-mm. Yes, sir. There must be 4 or 5 miles of wire in that thing.
Yeah, at least.
Why do you think he did it, Joe?
What?
Invent the machine.
I don't know. Maybe he just likes to invent things.
No, I don't think that's it.
What's your idea?
Well, a guy'd have to spend a lot of time to build something like this. Maybe a couple of years.
Yeah.
Figure now a person just has to step up, put a coin in, cup drops down, syrup pours in, seltzer, way it's all measured out. Yeah, a guy'd have to spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sure. Got to be a good reason for thinking it up.
What's your idea?
I don't think you could find a bottle opener.
Yeah, sure.
Joe? Frank.
Hi, John.
Oh, hi, John.
Sorry I'm late. I got a call on my way out.
No trouble. What do you got?
Picked up a kid day before yesterday, carrying a can full of grass.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty rough kid when we tagged him. Wouldn't give us the time of day.
How old is he?
17, just under the line.
Uh-huh.
We got to talking to him last night, started to relax. Guess he knew he was in trouble.
Yeah.
One thing led to another, and the kid ended up talking pretty good.
What did he give you?
Rumbled about his brother. Got big plans.
Yeah.
And a knock over a loan company.
Captain Powers, Frank, and I left the city hall, drove over to Georgia Street Juvenile. We had the suspect brought to one of the interview rooms.
All right, sit down, Homer. Homer, this is Sergeant Friday and Officer Smith. They want to talk to you. Joe, Frank, it's Homer Rankin.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Sam.
What do you want?
Well, I told them what you said about your brother, Homer. They'd like to go over it with you.
That's a lousy deal.
What do you mean by that, son?
Stinks, that's what I mean. What I told you wasn't supposed to be broadcast.
I'm just trying to help you out, kid.
Yeah, where's your shovel? Word leaks I turn fake and the services will be real nice. You're all invited.
Look, boy, you're not going to help yourself acting like this, and you're not going to do your brother any good either.
You tell me all about it, huh?
What are you trying to build, Homer? What do you want?
Leave me alone.
We can't do that, you know it.
Try.
Look, Homer, you're in trouble. Why make it any worse, huh?
You got me for possession, that's all. You ain't going to make any more out of it.
All right, let's go.
Come on, kid.
Where to now? The basement for the rubber hose, huh?
Going back to your cell.
Good. I didn't sleep good last night. Maybe I can get some sack time.
You better do it while you can.
What's that supposed to mean?
By the time the court gets through with you, you're not going to feel like sleeping, I'm afraid.
What do you do? Where you work? What's your job around here?
Robbery.
Big guys, huh?
No.
Sure, I heard about you fellas. Big-time operators. Guess I should feel pretty good you come to see me.
How do you figure that?
Well, you don't waste your time on small-time stuff.
Well, you better take another look.
Huh?
We did this morning. We sent back to Captain Powers' office and got the name and address of the subject's brother. 12:10 p.m. We drove back to City Hall and had the name checked through R&I.
Here you are.
Thanks, Holmes.
It's a fat package.
Well,
Let's see the arrest report.
it's long.
Mm-hmm. Assault, burglary, 211. He's been busy.
Yeah,
You got a 5-2 there?
here it is.
Who's he list as the next of kin?
White, Paula Rankin, 101st Street address.
Better talk to him.
No,
You think the kid told Powers the truth?
I don't know. Maybe just wanted to sound big.
It's possible.
Brother sure fits, though.
Mm-hmm. Guy's been lucky.
What do you mean?
Well, the arrest has never stood a conviction.
Let's see if we can change that. We got a copy of the suspect's mug shot, and we went out to see his wife. She lived in one of the new housing projects on the south side of the city.
Yeah?
Ms. Rankin?
That's right.
Police officers, we'd like to talk to you.
Well, I don't know anything about the marijuana. Kid got it someplace. It's his problem. I got enough of my own.
We'd like to talk to you about your husband.
Tim?
That's right.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Want to sit down?
Thanks. This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Yeah. Now, what's the beef about Tim?
Is he here?
No.
You know where he is?
No, I don't.
When'd you see him last?
A couple of days ago.
Is he out of town?
I don't know. Couldn't care any less.
Do you have any idea where we can get in touch with him?
Listen, mister, if I knew you'd have it, I got nothing to save him from. As far as I'm concerned, he can boil.
Is that so?
Yeah. Since the day I met him, I've been carrying the economy size of trouble. Week goes by and he ain't pinched. It's a cause to get arrested for shooting off skyrockets.
No.
Always something. I'm tired of it. And I'm through with him. Never see him again. I ain't going to cry about it.
You got any other relatives in town?
Just the J.D.
Ma'am?
The kid, Homer. It's the only one.
Boy lives here, is that right?
He's got a bed. Don't use it much, like his brother. All the time out trying to get himself hung up. Never seen such a trouble family.
Mm-hmm. Any place your husband might go?
I told you before, if there is, I don't know about it.
Does he have a job?
Tim?
Yes, ma'am.
Honey, if you got paid for goofing, Tim could retire. Only thing wrong is he ain't got nothing to retire from.
He doesn't have a job.
That's the general idea, yeah.
Where's he spend his time?
Ain't around here.
Well, where, do you know?
I don't know. Guess it'd be the hot dog stand. A couple of times when I needed some money, I caught up with him there.
Where's the place?
Down on 114th, a couple of blocks over. You can't miss it. One of those all-night places.
Mm-hmm. Your husband have any close friends?
And what do you mean, close?
Well, people he spend time with.
Yeah, a couple of guys fit that.
You know their names?
No.
You ever seen them?
Yeah. One of them was here once. I saw him.
Can you give us a name?
No, I don't remember. Me and Tim had a beef about it. I came home and found him and this bum crocked on beer, had a beef about it, and ended up with both of them leaving.
Can you describe the man for us?
He's a man. Got a head, 2 arms, 2 legs.
That's all you can tell us?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the time.
Don't worry about it. It's free.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave you a card. If you hear from your husband, we'd appreciate a call.
Sure. Well, don't hold your breath. It isn't likely he'll come back this time.
All right.
Can you tell me what it's about?
It's a police matter. It'd be better if we talked to him personally.
Can I get you anything? Drink, maybe?
No, thanks.
No, thanks.
Too bad. Sometime when you're in the neighborhood, you know, not working, stop in. I'll pour you a drink.
Yeah, sure.
No, I mean it. Girl gets lonely just sitting by herself. The company'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
You're not married, are you?
No, ma'am.
That's nice. You drop by now. Anytime.
You bet. Thanks again.
Goodbye, Miss Regan.
Bye.
Hey, Joe.
Just do me a favor, will you?
Well, sure, old buddy. What is it?
Be quiet. We checked with the neighbors, and they verified Ms. Rankin's story about her husband's absence. None of them were able to tell us where he might have gone. Other than saying that the Rankins fought constantly, they were not able to give us any new information. 2:15 p.m. We drove down to the hot dog stand on 114th. There was no one at the counter who looked like the suspect, Tim Rankin.
Yeah, what'll it be?
Cup of coffee?
Okay, how about you?
Number 6, I guess. You make that with cheddar cheese?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have one of those. Glass of milk, too.
Sure. Want your coffee now?
Please.
Hot.
That's good. That's the way we like it.
Oh, not the coffee, the sun.
Oh, yeah.
And paper says there's 91 Pacific Center.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we should be doing more business than we are. Don't understand it, though.
Is that right?
Hey, you know, cold drinks. Hot day people all the time drinking something cold.
Yeah.
No offense.
Well, that's all right.
Malamute, be ready right away.
Huh?
That's what the number 6 is, Malamute.
Oh.
You seen Tim Rankin around this morning?
Yeah, he was in about 10. You guys friends of his?
We'd like to talk to him.
We came in, had a cup of coffee with Shelley. 2 of them left, I guess about 10:30.
Who was he with, you know?
Shelley, Shelley Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Big buddies all the time together.
You know where they went?
No, I don't know. Maybe over Shelley's.
You live around here?
Yeah, he's got a pad a couple of blocks over. Hey, your dog ought to be ready.
You know the address of that place?
I've never been there. Heard the two of them talk about it, though.
This guy Mitchell work?
No, I don't think either one of them do.
Mm-hmm.
Want to leave your names? Guys come back, I'll tell them you're here.
Well, it'd be better if you didn't say anything about it.
Why not?
We're police officers.
Both of you?
That's right.
Sure never guessed it.
Mm-hmm.
Cops. You never would have known. You look just like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
What are you after Tim and Shelley for? I bet it's a loan company job, huh? Huh? Is that it?
What do you know about it?
Oh, look, mister, I didn't have any part in the action. I just heard them talking.
That's all?
Yeah, gospel. I didn't even think they were serious. If I'd known they meant it, I'd have called the cops myself. I don't want to get mixed up in nothing like that. Not me. I ain't about to put my neck out.
What'd they say about the job?
Oh, just they're going to pull it. All the time I thought they were kidding, talking big. I sure never figured they'd really do it.
What's the name of the company?
Huh?
That place they talked about, what's the name of it?
Timely Loan Company over on Western.
They say when they were going to make it?
They talked about Monday afternoon. I guess they decided not to wait, though, huh?
Yeah. Either one of them drive a car, do you know?
Yeah, Shelley does. I don't think it's his, though.
You ever seen it?
Yeah, a couple times he's had it there.
What kind of a car is it?
Pontiac, 4-door.
Happen to know the license number?
No, sorry, fellas never paid much attention to it.
Either one of them say when they'd be back?
No, it could be any time, though. They come and go.
You know if this Mitchell's ever been arrested?
I can't give you an answer. Never heard him talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when they hit the place.
What?
When they robbed a loan company. I never read nothing about it.
Papers haven't got it yet.
Anybody hurt?
Why do you ask that?
Well, figures, that's all.
Yeah?
Sure, I know one thing for sure. I wouldn't want to get in Shelley's way. The leg don't slow him down a bit.
What do you mean?
He's got a wooden leg, you know. Here, the right one. Told me once he got wounded in the war.
Is that right?
He still walks with a little limp, like this.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him tangle with a guy once, happened in the alley out in back.
Yeah?
He almost knocked the fella's head right off his shoulders. Real punch.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's why I asked if anybody been hurt. Shelley being like he is.
Yeah.
Of course, I guess he wouldn't hit anybody. Be no need for it.
What do you mean?
Well, he just wouldn't have to, that's all.
Yeah.
Both of them got guns.
Frank and I arranged for a stakeout on the hot dog stand, then we went back to City Hall and ran the name Shelley Mitchell and his description through R&I. We came up with a possible that looked good. The mugshot was pulled and shown to the owner of the hot dog stand. He gave positive identification. We contacted Army authorities and requested what information they could give us. Yes, sir, huh? When was it? I see. You have those numbers? Right. No, I haven't. All right, Lieutenant, thanks again. Friday. Michigan 5211. Extension 2511. No, it's 25. Right? Okay, many thanks.
How about it?
Looks good. He was given a dishonorable discharge.
For what?
Theft. Spent a couple of months in the stockade, and then the Army kicked him out.
Yeah.
They'd like to talk to him again, though.
Well, how come?
Well, according to the lieutenant, it seems after he left, they got to checking. He didn't leave alone.
What do you mean?
Took 345 automatics with him. An immediate check was made at the last place listed in Mitchell's package, but he'd moved and left no forwarding address. Additional officers began to canvass the area where he was supposed to be living. Local broadcasts and APVs were gotten out on both suspects, and a stakeout was set up on Tim Rankin's home. That afternoon, we met with Captain Donahoe, and it was decided to put a stakeout on the loan company. 4:50 p.m. Frank and I were leaving the office to make the necessary arrangements.
You got the mug?
Yeah, we better get on it right away.
Yeah.
Hot shot. We missed it.
Huh?
Timely Loan Company.
Yeah?
Was just held up. Frank and I left the office and drove out to the Timely Loan Company on Western Avenue. By the time we got there, a radio card answered the call, and the officers were checking the neighborhood. A A broadcast had already been gotten out carrying their description. Frank and I talked with the manager, a Mr. Richard Conover.
Is there anything we can do for you, sir?
No.
Wonder if you take a look at some pictures and see if you can recognize the hold-up man.
I have to?
Well, it'll help us.
All right.
Here they are, sir.
No, they're not here.
You sure?
I looked at them. You haven't got a picture.
Would you mind going through them again?
I'll be honest with you. I'd like to see you get the two men, but the money's insured. I'm not going to put my family on the block for it.
I don't think I understand.
It's just that I believe them, that's all.
What do you mean?
On the way out, they told me. Said if I helped the police, they'd find out and make me sorry for it.
Yeah.
Said they'd get my family.
We went over the description Conover had given the uniformed men. It could have fit almost anyone. The crime lab came out and went over the offices of the loan company. They found nothing that would aid us. The people in the immediate vicinity were interviewed. None of them were able to give us a good description of the suspects. The victim, Richard Conover, was taken to the city hall where Frank and I talked to him for over an hour. 8:14 p.m.
Now, Mr. Conover, we need your help. If we don't have it, our job's going to be 5 times as hard.
I've told you I'm not going to put my family in jeopardy.
Well, now, look, we'll put a policeman in your house. He'll be there 24 hours a day until we come up with the thieves.
There'll be an officer with your children. Nobody's going to get near him.
That's ridiculous.
What do you mean?
I'm not going to subject them to that kind of supervision.
Well, then maybe you better take another look, Mr. Conover. There are 2 men in this city who've held you up. They've made threats on your life. Now, we don't blame you for being concerned, but this isn't going to help. Unless you go along with us, our hands are tied. There isn't anything we can do. Now, you've got no reason to believe that these men aren't going to try to get at you, even if you don't talk. You're the only one who can identify them. Pretty soon they're going to think about that, and then we won't be able to stop them. You and your family are in trouble now, whether you talk to us or not.
All right, I'll tell you.
The suspects were positively identified as Timothy Rankin and Shelley Mitchell. Additional bulletins were gotten out on the 2 men, and the search for them was intensified. Officers were dispatched to Conover's home in the event that the 2 thieves tried to make good their threat. Rankin's brother was re-questioned at Georgia Street Juvenile, but either he couldn't or else he wouldn't aid us in apprehending the suspect. 11:30 that night, Frank and I were ready to leave the office.
Did you sign the log?
Yeah, let's go. I got it. Robbery Friday. Hello? Robbery Friday. Oh, yeah, Benson. Wait a minute. Give me that again, will you? You're right out. Benson and Stromwell.
Yeah?
They found the suspect. In canvassing the area around the hot dog stand, officers Benson, Stromwell, and Herman had checked a hotel. When the clerk was shown pictures of the suspects, he said the 2 men who looked like the pictures were staying in the place. However, when the rooms were checked at the suggestion of the manager, Rankin and Mitchell were not there. They staked out the room and we were called. When Frank and I arrived, we took up our positions in the room while the other officers covered the entrances to the hotel. 4:15 a.m. We waited.
What time you got?
Wait a minute. Not hard to see without a light. 4:30.
Well, the hats did a good job.
Yeah, like finding a needle.
Mm-hmm. You heard how Herman's coming with the books?
I was talking to him the other day. Said he doesn't think he's ever going to make a lawyer.
I guess it's rough for the hours you've got.
Yeah, it works out, though.
What do you mean?
He told me that when he and Stromwell got a stakeout together, they'd ask each other questions. You know, try to study that way.
Yeah, that's a hard way to do it.
Yeah. Right.
Hmm? Yeah.
All right, Mr. Holder, right there.
I'm doing like you say. I'm not going to cause no trouble.
Turn around, face the wall.
Yes, sir, just like
Come
you
on,
say.
move.
Hands up on the wall.
Yes, sir. I'm doing it just like you said. I'm not rough.
Got it. Here you are, Joe.
Where'd you get this gun, Rankin?
Shelley gave it to me. That's the truth, honest, mister. I got it from Shelley.
It's all right. Put your hands behind you.
Yes, sir, right behind me.
All right, you can turn around now.
Don't shoot, mister. Huh? Please don't shoot.
Turn around.
Yes, sir.
Where's Mitchell?
I don't know.
Oh, come off it. Now, where is he?
Well, I don't know, mister. That's the truth. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, look, if I did, I'd tell you. Honest, I would.
When'd you see him last?
A couple hours ago.
Where?
A coffee place on Vermont, sir.
Is he still there?
I don't know.
What was he doing?
He was talking to another fellow.
Who?
A guy named Randolph Bennett, sir. I'm not sure that's his real name, though.
Is he coming back?
No, sir. He doesn't live here.
Clerk says he does.
Well, who are you talking about?
Mitchell.
Oh, I meant Bennett. He doesn't live here. Mitchell does, but Bennett doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Now, how about an answer?
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mitchell, is he coming back?
Well, I don't think so.
Why do you say that?
Well, we had a fight. I don't think he'll be back, sir.
What'd you fight about?
Well, it's something he wanted me to do. I didn't want any part of it.
What was it?
Well, he said if I didn't go along with him and Bennett, they'd kill me, and I didn't like the deal.
What deal?
Well, him and Bennett, they got a caper planned. I was supposed to go with them, but I didn't want to, sir. Honest, that's the truth. I really didn't want to.
Yeah.
You see, I was supposed to steal a car for him to use, and the more I thought about it, I didn't want to get in any more trouble than I am now.
The two of you hit the loan company this afternoon?
Yeah, that's right, sir.
This fellow Bennett, he was with you?
No, sir. We met him tonight. Him and Shelley planned this other deal. They wanted me to go with them, but I didn't want to. Honest, that's the God's truth, sir. I didn't want to. That's why we had this fight.
Well, what's the deal?
Well, they figured to start out about 9 in the morning. Shelley's got it all figured. They say they can hit about 8 places, and the two of them are going to leave town.
What are you talking about?
Well, this deal. They're going to rob some loan companies.
What about this fellow Bennett? You know him?
No, sir. He's a friend of Shelley's. They've known each other, though, for a long time.
Where's he from?
Oh, back east someplace. I'm not sure where. I just know the cops are after him, though.
Why?
Well, he broke out of jail while he was waiting to be tried.
What was the charge?
Kidnapping and murder.
We left the hotel room and picked up the other officers. We had Tim Rankin point out the coffee stand where he'd last seen Shelley Mitchell. And then we called a radio car and turned Rankin over to the uniformed men. While Benson, Stromwell, and Herman covered the rear entrances of the place, Frank and I went in the front door.
There they are, Joe. Halfway down.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, I should have known the guy's always caught bait when he comes doing something back down.
A lot of fun kids around the
We don't have to Yeah? You guys got a license to listen?
Shelley Mitchell? Come on, get up.
You okay, Joe?
Yeah. What about Bennett?
He's all right.
Lousy cops. Lousy, rotten cops.
Turn around.
Give me your cups, will you, Joe?
Here.
Come on, turn around. I'll take care of Bennett.
All right, Mitchell, turn around.
All a stick of deals.
All right, come on, move.
How'd you get to me?
Don't you worry about that.
Rottenest, lousiest deal I ever heard of.
Where'd you get this gun?
I bought it.
From the government, huh?
Well, that's none of your business.
All right, we'll go your way.
Lousy 12 hours. 12 more hours, you'd have missed us. This afternoon, we'd have been on the way. You'd have never found us.
Yeah, you really believe that, don't you?
Oh, sure. We'd have gotten a start, you'd have been dead. Looking all around, never found us.
Yeah, just like now.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On September 16th, trial was held in Department 92, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Homer Norman Rankin was referred to juvenile court and after a hearing was made a ward of the state. Timothy Alfred Rankin and Shelley Vincent Mitchell were tried and convicted of robbery in the first degree, 1 count. They received sentence as prescribed by law. Robbery in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 5 years. Randolph Bennett, alias James Virgil Nicholson, was held for New Jersey authorities to answer charges of murder, kidnapping, and escape. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape, brought to you by your Richfield gasoline dealer and the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York. Marketers of Richfield gasolines with Xylene, Rich Lube, all-weather motor oil, and other famous petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps.
Tonight, we escape to India, and the story of a man trapped in his bed by a crate, the most deadly, poisonous snake in the world, as Roald Dahl tells it in his terrifying story, Poison.
Listen, it's an awful good story, but to get the point, you got to understand about two things. What kind of a guy Harry Pope was and what kind of a snake the crate is. First, the crate. You spell it K-R-A-I-T. They're in India, the crates are. Little snakes, sometimes not more than 3 or 4 inches long. You have to look real careful if you're going to see one at all. Really almost like a worm. Except that it's the most poisonous snake in the world. It can bite faster than a bumblebee, and when it does, you go up like a firecracker, swell up like a hot water bottle, and in fly the angels. Crate. Tiny little snake. Now about Harry Pope. Funny guy. He had it in for anybody who wasn't American, who didn't speak his language. He called them foreigners. He called them that army word, gook. Didn't matter if they were French, Italian, or Japanese. Gook. Foreigner, he'd say. It's kind of buggy on the subject. Funny guy. Well, Harry and me, we got sent out to Bombay on this construction job, and that's where the trouble started. You see, except for the 2 of us, the crew was made up of local boys. Hindus and Muslims. 40 of them. Harry was like a cat in a room full of dogs. Had his back up every minute. After a month or so, it began to wear him out. Got so his appetite wasn't right. He was smoking 3 and 4 packs a day, and he wasn't getting his sleep. I used to try to straighten him out. Used to tell him he was wrong.
No, Woody, there's no use talking to you.
Listen, Harry, they're all good boys. Why don't you take it easy?
Woody, you and I are good friends, but there are a lot of things you just don't understand.
You ought to take it easy, Harry. They're all human beings, just like you and me.
They're gooks, Woody. Foreigners. Look, think about it this way. How'd you like your sister to marry one of them?
I haven't got a sister, and anyway, you've asked me that before.
Yeah, you see? You won't even make the effort to understand.
Well, that's how it was with Harry, and you know about the crate. Now about what happened. It was June of last year. It was hot and sticky, even though the sun was down. I was putting on a clean shirt to go out.
Oh, man, I'm really beat tonight. What's with you, Woody? What's the clean shirt for?
Going out.
What do you got, a date?
No, I thought I'd stop off at Dr. Ganderby's. He promised he'd show me the photos he made down in the leper colony.
Ganderby?
Yeah. These photos are supposed to be pretty interesting stuff. Well, how about it, Harry? Would you like to come along?
Ganderby? He's a Hindu. A gook. Foreigner. I don't want to spend no evening with a gook. Shoot, not old Harry.
So I went off to the doctor's, and Harry went to bed with the detective story. I had a very interesting evening. Later, old Harry was plenty sorry that he stayed home. I didn't leave the doctor's until around midnight, and when I drove back to the sleeping city, it was very quiet and dark. I thought about the pictures of the lepers I'd seen. I remember thinking, I hope Harry's awake, because I'd like to tell him about those pictures. And when I got home, I was glad to see the light in his room was still burning.
Harry, you up?
I didn't get an answer. Probably fell asleep reading.
Harry, you awake, Harry?
Woody.
Harry, boy, what's the matter, kid?
Stop, Woody. Take off your shoes.
I couldn't tell what was the matter, but I knew he was serious, whatever it was about, so I did what he wanted. He was in bed, under his netting, with a reading light on, his book on the floor. He lay quite still, and the sheet came halfway up his chest. He was wearing those corny pajamas of his with the big checks all over them. And the pajamas were soaked in the sweat that was rolling off his face. He lay like a corpse, flat on his back, with his hands lying dead on the bed. His hands, even the backs of them, were sweating. His eyes looked like he was watching somebody saw his leg off.
Woody, what's the matter, boy?
It's a crate.
Crate? Where?
For Mary.
Where? Where's the crate?
In here.
Under the netting?
No. Under the sheet.
Where'd it bite you?
It hasn't. Yet.
Where under the sheet?
Right on my belly.
Holy son.
You can wake it up if you don't cut out that belly.
How'd it get in there?
I don't know. Came up under the netting, I guess. Or it's been in the bed all day.
Is it a big one?
No. It don't have to be big. Looked about 3 or 4 inches. Come along my side. I didn't move. It went under the sheet. One of them folds. One of them wrinkles there over my belly.
How long ago did it come?
Hours. Hours and hours and days and weeks waiting. I've been waiting a year for you to get home.
You must be sleeping here, huh?
Yeah. I think it is.
All right, now listen, Harry. Maybe it'll wake up and go away. Go home or something, huh?
I can't wait, Woody. I've been lying here scared I'd move something and wake it up.
Yeah, you're scared and it'll bite.
I've been lying here scared to death I'd cough.
All right, don't you worry about a thing, Harry. I know just what to do.
Where you going, Woody? Don't leave me.
The thing was to be ready to cauterize the bite right away. I'd heard about one method. I went out to the kitchen, and I got a whole fistful of those big kitchen matches, and I took them back to the bedroom. Arranged them all with the heads together. Held them like you'd hold a torch.
What are you going to do? What are the matches for?
Now listen, Harry, here's how it goes. These will cauterize, see? So we count 3, flip back the sheet, and you jump out of bed. Now you follow me?
You're out of your
No, listen, Harry. If the crate bites you, I strike the bundle and press it against the spot, and it burns out the poison, see? Well, the matches...
Get away from me. You're a bubble-headed maniac.
No, Harry, I'm only trying to...
Listen, Woody, take your matches and your bright ideas and get the heck out of here. Call the doctor.
The doctor? I never thought of that.
Now get to it.
Okay, Harry. Who do you want, Ganderby or Forsyth?
Forsyth. Things are bad enough without you. Got to bring that gook in here.
I dug through the telephone book and I found Dr. Maxon B. Forsyth's number and I dialed it. Yeah, let me speak to the doctor. It's very urgent.
Who is calling, please?
Arthur Woods.
Who?
Woods. Arthur Woods.
Spell, please.
Woods. W.
W.
O.
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 You have already said O. I have already written O. Have the kindness to give me the next letter, please.
O. It's O after O.
Please?
Look, my name is Woods.
Spell, please.
W. O. O. D.
W. O. Aha.
D. S. Woods.
Wood. W. O. D. S. Mr. Wood.
That's right. That's just right now. Let me speak to the doctor, please.
Sorry. Doctor not in. Call tomorrow.
Across the room, Harry lay very still, sweating, trying to keep every muscle relaxed. His face was beginning to twitch a little. I was scared. If that twitch should spread... I called the doctor's house again.
Please, I do not understand.
Look, I said if you don't tell me where the doctor is, I'm going to come over there and pull your arms off, and then I'm going to take you by the neck.
The doctor is at the club, please.
What club?
The country club. Ring 673.
Harry lay very still, fighting the twitches, trying to keep from jumping out of his skin, while I waited for the bartender at the club to locate Dr. Forsyth. After about 5 minutes and nothing, I got this.
Are you there?
Listen, Doctor, you got to get over here right away. This is Arthur Woods, and my partner. He's got a snake in the bed with him. Doctor?
Would you mind repeating that, old boy?
I said snake. He's got a snake in the bed with him.
Snake? Oh, Jolly. I say, who is this? This is Captain Smart speaking.
Please, Doctor, you got to get over here right away. It's urgent.
Smart, you can't. You don't fool me. Not for an instant, you don't.
Oh, please, Doctor.
Snake in bed.
Listen, is this Dr. Forsyth speaking?
Of course not. It's Colonel Harcourt.
Oh, well, let me speak to the doctor, please.
Oh, but you can't, old fellow.
Why not?
Why, he's jolly well passed out, don't you know?
Passed out.
Like a mackerel. Snake in the...
Listen, Harry, you gotta forget all this prejudice stuff. Ganderby's your only chance.
No. He's a gook.
He went to Oxford, Harry.
He's a gook.
It's him or the Undertaker.
He's a gook.
I'm going to call him, Harry.
All right. Go ahead, call him. But he's a gook.
I called him. And when I mentioned crate, he was quiet for a good 10 seconds, and then he said he'd be right over. And he was within 5 minutes. He was wearing felt slippers, and he moved silently into the bedroom. He was carrying his black satchel, and when I saw the lamplight glinting softly in his steel-rimmed spectacles, saw his wise, gentle eyes, his bald brown head, I thought to myself, why, he looks just like Mahatma Gandhi. He looked silently at Harry and smiled encouragingly. Harry looked at him, looked at me, and looked away.
Now, first we must very carefully remove the netting from about the bed. Mr. Pope, I want you to pay no attention to us. You are to concentrate on being very quiet, on letting the little snake sleep. It is a very little snake, and it is very tired. You must tell yourself this, and you must believe it is necessary for it to sleep.
Yeah.
Mr. Wood, help me lift the netting very slowly. Up. Good.
What are you going to do for me?
Think about the little snake.
What do you think I'm thinking about? What are you going to do for me?
The snake. It is here?
It's in one of those folds over his abdomen, Doctor.
Now we all know where it is.
Pretend you are the mother of the little snake. You are keeping it warm. It is sleeping. That is good.
Just so as it don't wake up and want breakfast.
You joke? That is good.
I wish I was back home in the good old USA.
Now then.
What are you going to do, Doctor?
I have a serum here. You will inject it into the blood of Mr. Pope. Then, as he puts it, the little snake may breakfast to his heart's content without harm to Mama.
His hands were brown and slender and astonishingly deft. He poked the hypodermic into a capsule of thick yellowish stuff, the serum, and then with infinite care he drew the plunger slowly and steadily upward. The glistening chamber filled. He withdrew the needle, laid the hypodermic down, and then with all the gentleness in the world, he began to fold back Harry's sleeve. It was as though he were folding rare old lace. He inched the sleeve carefully, under, and up Harry's arm until the vein came into view.
I'm going to fasten a tourniquet on your arm now. It will be just above the elbow. Do not move your arm. Do not twitch your muscle.
Gently he tightened the rubber tourniquet, and Harry's arm began to flush dark. The vein began to swell, blue and tight. Harry kept his eyes on the table.
Now I'm going to insert the needle in the vein. You must not react. By that I mean you must not tense your abdominal muscles. Believe me, Mr. Pope, this will not hurt.
Very carefully he placed the syringe almost flat against the arm, slid the needle in sideways through the skin and into the blue vein, slid it slowly but so firmly that it went in smooth as a knife going into a cheese.
Doc, you're good, aren't you, Doc?
You must believe that.
You're going to let me die, are you, Doc?
I'm your friend. You must believe that.
Are you, Doc? You won't let me die?
No, I will not let you die. Now, be still and think about that.
With all the care in the world as he had pushed the needle into the vein, now he pressed the plunger down, pressed the serum through the needle and into Harry Pope's body. I watched Harry. His eyes were on the wise, gentle face of Dr. Ganderby. His eyes wanted desperately to believe what Ganderby had told him. Now the hypodermic was empty, and slowly it was withdrawn. And then slowly the deft, graceful little hands loosened the rubber tourniquet. And then Ganderby looked up, met Harry's eyes and smiled. Harry tried to smile back, but the smile jumped and twitched and died.
You're taking care of me, huh, Doc?
Yes, my son. Now you must be still while the serum is pumped through your body. Be very still and be very assured. I'm your friend. The serum will save you. You will escape harm.
He beckoned to me, and I followed him out of the room and out onto the dark porch. The air was heavy and hot. Ganderby stared out at the blackness, gummed his fingers softly on the railing.
Your friend is in grave danger.
Yeah, but the serum. You gave him the serum.
I gave him the serum.
It isn't any good.
It is the finest known to medical science, and it is worthless.
To most of us, science is something strange and mysterious. We think of magic medicines and supersonic planes. But here's a scientific achievement that's as real as your car and as near as your Richfield dealer. It's xylene, one of the highest anammox gasoline components ever discovered by scientific research. And xylene can benefit you today, because every gallon of Richfield gasoline now contains xylene. Xylene to give your car that smooth, knockless power that eats up the miles. Xylene for that swift, eager response you need in traffic. Furthermore, there's a Richfield gasoline to fit your motor. Your Richfield dealer offers 2 great Richfield gasolines, both with xylene. Get Richfield High Octane at regular price for the average motor. Or Richfield Ethyl. Ethyl at its best for top results in highest compression motors. Get Richfield gasoline tomorrow. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. And now we return you to Escape.
So there it was. Harry Pope, the man who had been an enemy of anyone and everyone who didn't come from his country or speak his language, was now halfway through death's door. And his only hope lay in a Dr. Ganderby of another race, another creed, another country, and another color. Now, for the first time in his life, Harry had made a gesture of friendship toward a person of another race. First time. And it seemed to me the last.
No, my friend. The serum is worthless.
What can we do then? The snake is bound to wake sooner or later. Harry will move. He won't be able to help himself, and the snake will strike.
We must think.
Look, I'll shoot it. I can hold the gun low and flat so that even if I hit Harry, it won't be a penetrating wound, and I'll blow the snake sheet and all clear the bed, huh?
But you don't even know which of the many folds and creases in that sheet is the harbor of the snake.
Yeah.
You might shoot the air.
Yeah.
You would most certainly wake the snake then.
No, we can't do that.
I think I have a solution, Mr. Woods.
Yeah?
We will anesthetize the snake. Yes. We will use nitrous oxide, or ether, or chloroform. I think the last. Chloroform, yes.
We put the snake out right while he's lying on Harry? Is that the idea?
That is it, Mr. Woods. Now, if you will please drive quickly down to my house, my boy will show you where I keep my supplies. The chloroform is in a bottle with an orange label.
Orange label?
Yes. Bring it back as quickly as you can. I will stay with Mr. Pope and try to keep him assured.
He seems to like you.
We all like the doctor when we are sick.
I drove it as fast as I could. The houseboy at the doctor's thought I was a madman at first, but then he decided in my favor, showed me where the stuff was. I found the bottle with the orange label, smelled it to make sure, and then took off back to the house. I eased the car up the driveway and tiptoed into the bedroom.
You're my friend, Doctor? My pal?
Yes, I'm your friend, and I'm not going to let any harm come to you.
Well, here's Willie. He's my friend, too, Doc.
Here's the stuff, Doctor.
Willie, I've been on awful dope all my life. You know that, Willie?
It's okay, Harry. You're going to be okay from now on.
The Doc here, my friend here, I didn't like him when he first came into the room. Why? Because he wasn't an American or even an Englishman. What do you know about that, huh? He's my friend.
It's okay, Harry. You're going to be okay now, boy.
I've been a prize dope.
Mr. Woods, you have to help me.
Right. He pulled a prescription pad out of his case, tore the cardboard backing off, and twisted it into a neat little funnel. He laid this on the edge of the bed. And then he took the piece of hollow rubber tubing which had been used as a tourniquet, and he began to slide it into the sheet. It went in where the sheet ended, across Harry's chest, and he slid it down. He slid it slowly, so slowly that although I was watching it, I didn't see it move. Hours seemed to crawl by. The tube inched invisibly on and down, down and down, past the unseen buttons of his jacket, past the unseen cord of his trousers. Then it stopped. Ganderby had sent it by a route which did not cross any of the creases in the sheet. He was being very careful not to prod the snake with it. He was sweating too now, sweating and biting his lip with his teeth. Funny, I remember now, one was gold. I remember staring at it while he ate that tube.
Now the funnel. I fit it into the end of the tube and you're ready. Mr. Pope, this is going to be very cold. The evaporation of the chloroform will cause a sharp lowering of the temperature. You must be prepared for this. It will take rather a long time, another factor for which you must prepare yourself. The snake is a reptile, and reptiles do not react quickly to the anesthetics which are intended for the use of warm-blooded animals. Bear these things in mind. Are you ready?
Sure. Friend.
He opened the bottle and began to drip the stuff into the funnel. Slowly, very slowly, drop by drop, the clear liquid entered the tube and traveled the long, dark route to Harry Pope's stomach, where the crate lay sleeping. Drop by drop, a pale, swirling vapor hung over the funnel. Down there on the sheet, where the tube ended, a wet gray patch began to spread, the chloroform spreading and evaporating, spreading and evaporating. The room began to reek of it. And I remembered other places and other times, hospitals, operations, the death of loved ones, smell of chloroform. Harry began to twitch now. His nose, he seemed to be in agony.
Woody.
Harry, what is it?
I think I'm gonna sneeze.
Don't do it, boy. Hang on, Harry. You gotta hang on. Don't. Ganderby looked at Harry's face. He reached up, pressed his knuckle against some nerve on Harry's upper lip, and the agonized look vanished. The relentless dripping of the chloroform continued. Harry was getting cold. I could see goose flesh along his arms, across the top of his chest where the jacket was open. Ganderby looked at this and stopped pouring.
That is enough. I think our little friend should be thoroughly unconscious now. Mr. Pope, you must remain very still. We are going to remove the sheet now.
Anything you say, Doctor.
Mr. Woods, you take the other side. You will have to do this ever so carefully.
We each took a side of the hem. I watched Ganderby do everything that he did. Harry's arms were still flat on the bed, pointing toward his feet. We inched the sheet under and free of these. It was rough, because we had to do it without disturbing the main area of the sheet. When it was free of his arms, we began to raise it slowly, gathering the material in our hands as we progressed ever so slowly down Harry's chest. We reached the end of his jacket. No sign of the snake. My hands were beginning to shake. Ganderby paused while I turned my head away for air. The odor of chloroform was stifling. And then we went on, slowly, thread by thread, raising the sheet and easing it away, down past the cord of his pajamas, and down, and still no sign of the snake. I'd stopped looking for it by now. I was concentrating on keeping my arms from shaking. And then, quite suddenly, we were done. Ganderby dropped the sheet on the floor. Harry lay on his back, not moving, but watching us with wide, terrorized eyes. Ganderby squinted at both sides of Harry, at his legs.
What is it?
It is not as you suppose on the outside of your pajama pants. It must be up one of the legs.
Harry, no!
I don't see it.
Get those tatters of cloth, the remains of his pen.
No, nothing.
The bed. Under the bed?
Yep.
Move your feet, Harry. Harry, move your feet.
No, there's nothing.
Mr. Pope, are you quite certain you saw a snake? Sometimes when we are very tired, we find our autosuggestive faculties run a bit out of hand.
Are you calling me a liar?
Well, no. I merely say that the autosuggestive...
Are you telling me I'm a liar?
Harry.
Why, you lousy little quack. Call me a liar. You stinking little Hindu witch doctor with your fancy pants tongue.
Harry!
Come in here sticking me full of your cheap, no good medicine.
Harry, no!
Pour that freezing cold up all over
Harry,
me.
take it easy. Harry's your friend.
My friend? That little hunk of foreign trash, my friend. Why, where I come from, where you guys live, khaki like him for busboys.
You make a mistake. You are wrong.
Yeah, for busboys, for waiters, for nothing. You're a foreigner. You're a gook. You're a nothing. Oh, I ought to beat you to a bloody pulp. You and your chloroform. You and your stuff about friendship and mama snake. And I must make out like I like you. I ought to split your head wide open, you gooks. You gook, you gook, you gook.
forgive him. He's been under a great strain. He doesn't mean it.
A great strain, yes. He needs a good holiday. Good night, Mr. Woods.
That's all. I couldn't tell this if old Harry was still alive. Poor old Harry. He didn't die in India. He died in Chicago, in the Loop. Got run over by a taxi cab. The driver was third-generation Irish, a real 100% white American. Maybe that means something, I don't know. Poor old Harry.
Believe it or not, but the very life of your car depends on oil. Without oil, your motor would grind itself to pieces in a matter of minutes. That's why you need an oil that stands up under every driving condition. That's why you need Rich Lube all-weather motor oil. Rich Lube is refined 100% from the finest Pennsylvania crude oil ever discovered. That's your guarantee that Rich Lube won't burn up even under the terrific heat of hard summer driving. Its tough, long-lasting oil film is your faithful watchdog. It protects your motor every mile you drive. You can depend on it. Moreover, Rich Lube motor oil combats carbon and other harmful deposits by its special cleansing action. It cleans as it lubricates your motor. Keep your motor young. Keep your motor clean. See your Richfield gasoline dealer tomorrow. Ask him to change your oil to Rich Lube all-weather motor oil. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight is presented Poison by Roald Dahl and adapted for radio by James Poe. Featured in tonight's cast were Jack Webb as Woody, Bill Conrad as Harry, Jane Novello as Ganderby, and Charlie Long as the houseboy. Special music arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You are lost in the headhunter territory of New Guinea, fighting your way through the swamps in search of gold. With you is a giant brute of a man and his beautiful wife, who doesn't care which of you is killed or who kills him, and from whose evil treachery there is no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape with an exciting story of evil and violence in the deadly swamps of New Guinea, as Jules Archer tells it in Two Came Back. Goodbye then until the same time next week when once again we offer you Escape. Tom Hanlon speaking over CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Chesterfield brings you Dragnet.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Buy Chesterfield. Smoother. Cooler. Best for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. The owner of a small delicatessen reports that he's been robbed. He says the thief casually walked out of his store and disappeared. Your job? Find him.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember this. In the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like Chesterfield.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Instantly, you'll smile your approval of Chesterfield's smoothness.
So smooth, so satisfying.
You want them mild. We make them mild. Mild and mellow, with the smooth and refreshing taste of the right combination of the world's best tobaccos. So next time you buy cigarettes,
stop. Start smoking with a smile with Chesterfield, smiling all the while with with Chesterfield. Put a smile in your smoking, just give 'em a try. Light up a Chesterfield, they satisfy.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Sunday, October 9th. It was overcast in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. My name's Friday. I was on my way back from communications. It was 3:48 p.m. when I got to room 27A. Robbery. I got it. Robbery, Friday. Yeah, just a second. Give me that pad, man.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, please. All right, I have it. What happened? How long ago? All right. Right away. Thank you. Guy came into a delicatessen over on Sunset. Took out a pretty big order.
Yeah?
Sack full of money. 4:15 p.m. Frank and I drove out to a small combination delicatessen and grocery on the corner of Sunset and 3rd. The owner of the store, Mr. Paul Claypool, told us that the robbery had taken place approximately 20 minutes earlier. He said that the patrol car officer who had answered his call had left to make an immediate search for the suspect.
Gave a real good description, I did.
Yes, sir, you said that.
Kept my wits about me. All the time that young hoodlum was in the store, I was studying him. Didn't let him catch on, of course, but I was making mental notes.
I wonder if you'd tell us just what happened, Mr. Claypool.
How's that?
Well, we'd like to hear about the robbery right from the beginning.
Oh, checking up on me, huh?
Sir?
Making sure I give you the same story I gave that other cop.
Oh, no, sir, that's not the idea.
I told him everything there was to tell.
Well, we'd like to hear it, too, that's all.
You ain't going to hear nothing different from what he did.
Well, would you tell us anyway?
Well, if that's how you want it. This here crook fella came walking into my store, big as life. That's how it begun.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 20 minutes ago, was it?
Oh, it might be 21 or 2, but now depends on how long you've been talking to me.
Yes, sir.
What did he say when he came in?
Bandit fella?
That's right.
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. That's what he said. Not a single solitary word.
I see.
Didn't even open his mouth. Just handed me an envelope.
Yeah?
Sealed it was. Sealed up shut.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Struck me as being kind of peculiar.
What do you mean?
Well, lots of my customers bring in lists of things they're supposed to buy. They don't seal them in no envelope, though.
I see.
My instinct sure was right. It wasn't no grocery list. It was far from it.
Is that so?
Note inside. Hand-printed it was.
I see.
Want to know what it said?
Well, that would be nice, yes, sir.
Take all of the money out of the cash register, put it in a paper bag, and hand it over.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't all. You want to hear the rest?
If you would, please.
Don't do any talking. Don't try to stop me. If you do, I'll kill you. That was the end of it.
Do you still have this note, Mr. Claypool?
Right over there. It's laying on the register.
Wonder if we could see it, please.
Well, that's up to you, I guess. Other cop said I wasn't to handle it on account of fingerprints.
Well, we'll try to be careful with it.
Help yourself. Ain't my place to take no chances on destroying valuable evidence.
Yes, sir.
Well, had it right, didn't it? Word for word?
Yes, sir, you sure did.
After you read this note, what'd you do, Mr. Claypool?
I done just what it said.
You gave him the money from the register?
That's right. Put in a paper bag in number 8.
What's that, sir?
8. That was the size of the bag.
Oh.
How much money did you give him?
All there was, a neighborhood of $50.
Most of it in bills?
Most, I'd say. A couple of 10s, 3 or 4 5s, some 1s. Rest was change.
All right. What happened next?
Fella took the bag, kind of grinned, and walked out. Looked real pleased with himself.
Did you see where he went?
Left the store.
Yes, sir. I mean, after that.
Turned down the street.
Did you get into a car?
I didn't see none.
You didn't try to follow him?
Nope. I didn't aim to stick out my neck none. Figured that was up to you, fellas.
That's right.
Now, Mr. Claypool, do you know if the robber had a gun?
Must have.
Did you see it?
Nope. But that there note said he'd kill me if I gave him any trouble.
Yes, sir.
Must have had a gun if he aimed to kill me. Well, stands to reason.
Yes, sir.
Was there anybody else in here when he came in?
Just me. I don't do much business this time of the afternoon, and not on Sunday. I don't.
Had you ever seen this man before?
Nope, not that I recollect.
I wonder if you could describe him for us.
Oh, sure. I told you I gave him a real good once-over.
Yes, sir.
First off, he's a young fella, right around 20, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Husky, about 5'10", maybe weighs 170. Not fat, you understand. He's just husky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about his coloring?
Well, I'm coming to that.
Yes, sir.
Brown hair, medium brown. Kind of gray eyes, medium complexion.
Any marks or scars?
No.
How was he dressed?
Pants, dark-colored, serge, more than likely. Blue serge. They looked like they was part of a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't see his shirt. He had on a sweater, yellowish, with one of them collars that chokes you.
What's that?
Fits all around your neck, you see, like so. See?
Turtleneck sweater?
Oh, is that what you call it?
Yes, sir.
Turtleneck, huh? Well, that's a right good name. That's just what it looks like. Turtle poking out his neck.
Yes, sir. Is there anything else you can tell us about this man?
What have you got in mind?
Well, Mr. Claypool, anything that would help us identify him.
Well, sir, he acted real funny, almost like he didn't know what he was doing.
Oh?
Kind of looked at me funny, too. Don't know how to put it into words exactly.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you come down to City Hall for a few minutes, Mr. Claypool?
City Hall?
Yes, sir. We'd like to show you some mug shots, see if we can make an identification for us.
Well, that'd mean closing up the store.
Well, it won't take very long.
Well, I guess it will help catch this fellow.
We'd appreciate it.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Claypool's delicatessen. How's that? Who? Friday?
That's for us, sir.
Oh. Huh. Here you are.
Thank you. This Friday. Yeah, that's right. How long ago? Fountain? Yeah, I got it. Thank you. Well, we won't need you downtown just yet, Mr. Claypool.
Change your mind, huh?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Flower shop over on Fountain.
Yeah?
Sounds like the same guy. Frank and I told Mr. Claypool we'd check with him later. We left the delicatessen and drove out to the Pringer Flora shop on Fountain and Selma. 4:42 p.m., we talked to the victim, Miss Norma Devereaux. She seemed to be extremely agitated. She told us that a man had walked into the store about 4:30 and gave her a sealed envelope. She showed us the note the envelope had contained, and it appeared to be a duplicate of the note Mr. Claypool had been given.
Did this man say anything to you, Miss Devereaux?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Well, did you say anything to him?
Oh, I was too scared.
Yes, ma'am.
How much money did he take?
Well, I gave him all there was, everything in the register.
I see, but about how much would you say?
I'm not sure. You see, I don't work here. I was just helping out.
Mm-hmm.
The store belongs to my sister and brother-in-law.
I see.
They wanted to take their children for a ride this afternoon, so I said I'd look after the shop.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I never should have offered. I might have known something like this would happen. I've had a funny feeling all day long.
Is that right?
It's a bad week for me anyway, this whole week.
Huh?
According to my horoscope.
Oh.
And you don't have any idea how much money was stolen, Miss Devereaux?
Well, I don't think it was very much. A few bills and some coins.
Mm-hmm.
Do you happen to know what day this is? The date, I mean?
Yes, ma'am. This is the 9th.
The 9th. Oh, I might have known. She said to be especially careful on the 9th and the 11th. Why didn't I pay more attention to that last reading? It certainly cost me enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Miss Devereaux, you noticed where this man went when he left the shop?
What?
Did you notice where he went?
Oh, no. I didn't pay any attention. I was just so relieved that he was gone.
What if you describe him for us, please?
Well...
Miss Devereaux?
I'm trying to think.
Yes, ma'am.
It just comes up a blank. His face, everything about him.
Well, how's he dressed?
I'm terribly sorry. I just can't remember.
Well, maybe we can help you. Was he wearing a coat or a sweater?
That's right. A sweater. I remember the sweater.
Mm-hmm. What color was it?
Lightish, I think. I'm not sure.
What kind of a sweater? Would you recall that?
Just a sweater, I guess.
How about his hair? Eyes? Anything at all, Miss Devereaux?
Well, there's one thing. I don't know whether it would do any good or not.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like such a fool not being able to remember where it was or when, but I'm almost certain about it.
What's that?
That I've seen him before.
Frank and I continued to question the victim. She insisted that she had met or seen the suspect sometime before the crime, but she was unable to recall the circumstances. 5:38 p.m., we drove both victims down to the city hall and asked them to go through the mug books for the purpose of identifying the suspect.
Well, we finished another book, Sergeant.
Yes, ma'am.
Seems like you sure have enough of them.
Yes, sir.
If I could only think where it was.
Ma'am?
That I saw him before.
Yes.
Should I get you folks some coffee?
That sounds like a right good idea.
How about you, miss?
What?
Would you like some coffee, too? Miss Devereaux.
That's it. That's it. I remember now. His face, everything about him. It's the same man. I'm positive it is.
Oh?
It was when you mentioned coffee. That's what brought it back to me.
Yes, ma'am. Now, just when was it you saw this man?
Oh, let's see. It was last week when I went shopping for a new coat. Tuesday. Yes, that's when it was. Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I was having lunch. The Fairway Cafeteria in Hollywood.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it was crowded, and I was sitting alone. He came by and asked if he could use the same table.
All right, go ahead.
I nodded, and he sat down. I didn't pay any attention to him. Not really. I just went on and finished my lunch. He was still eating when I left.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you can tell us about him?
I think he had on the same clothes he was wearing today, the sweater anyway. I remember the sweater, real plain now.
I see. Now, you're sure this was the same man who robbed you?
Oh, yes, I know it was.
Mm-hmm.
That'll help, won't it? My remembering where I saw him?
Well, it might.
I'll bet he eats there all the time, at that same cafeteria.
Yes, ma'am. We'll check on that.
Oh, he does. I just feel certain of it. You'll see, Sergeant. It was fate that made me go into that restaurant, and it was fate that made him sit at my table.
Yes, ma'am.
It was all part of a big plan. Our meeting like that, and then him robbing me today. It was all part of a big plan so that you could catch him.
Yes, that's right.
And you will catch him. Don't you worry about that. You'll catch him. Fate's against him.
Well, that makes us even then, doesn't it?
What?
So are we. Now that she remembered seeing the suspect before, Miss Devereaux confirmed Paul Claypool's description. We asked the victims to continue going through the mug books. They were unable to come up with an identification. 6:31 p.m., Frank and I drove them home, and we went off duty. The next day, October 10th, 10:05 a.m., we interviewed the day cashiers at the Fairway Cafeteria. They couldn't recall any specific customer who answered the suspect's description. 11:46 a.m., we went back to the office. Robbery Friday. Yeah, Larry. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks anyway. Right. Sloan.
Yeah?
Says he can't give us a lead from the way those notes were printed.
Oh?
Well, how about an early lunch today, huh?
It's all right with me.
Where do you want to go?
Well, I don't care. How about you?
Doesn't make any difference to me.
Well, suggest someplace.
No, I told you it doesn't make a difference.
Well, I don't know why it always has to be up to me, Joe.
Hmm?
Where we eat. Why don't you decide once in a while?
All right, fine. Let's go to that new Chinese place on Broadway.
For lunch?
Well, why not?
Well, you don't want Chinese food for lunch, Joe.
I don't.
Of course not.
Well, what do you got in mind?
I don't know.
Hmm?
I'd end up making the choice.
Sure is a problem, isn't it?
Well, it gets kind of monotonous, that's all, buddy. Yeah, it's tough.
Say,
Yeah, something we can do for you?
is this here where you the guys that handle robberies?
Yeah, that's right.
Like them two yesterday?
Which two?
Grocery store and flower shop.
You know something about them, do you?
Yeah, I know something.
Well, just what is it?
Who robbed them? I know who it was.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was me.
Put a smile in your smoking. Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember this. It's today's biggest cigarette news.
Chesterfield is made the modern way with Accuray.
The Accuray controller is the greatest improvement in cigarette making in years, and it's a Chesterfield exclusive. This amazing quality detective electronically checks and controls the making of your Chesterfield, giving a uniformity in smoking quality never possible before. So buy Chesterfield today. For the first time, you get a perfect smoke column from end to end.
A perfect smoke column from end to end.
From the first puff to the last puff, your Chesterfield smokes smoother. From the first puff to the last puff, your Chesterfield smokes cooler.
From the first puff to the last puff, Chesterfield is best for you.
Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember,
Chesterfield is made the modern way with Accuray.
Put a smile in your smoking, just give 'em a try. Light up a Chesterfield, they satisfy.
The man who had come into the office answered the description we'd received from the victims. He was in his early 20s, stocky build, about 5'10", brown hair and gray eyes. He was wearing dark blue trousers and a yellow turtleneck sweater. He told us that his name was Harvey Tilden and that he lived in a rooming house on West Ivar. He readily admitted the two robberies, but he insisted he had not meant to commit the crimes.
I didn't know what I was doing, that's all. I just didn't know.
Well, what are you trying to sell us? Were you drunk?
Of course not. I hadn't had a drink, not even a beer.
Well?
Well, he told me it was money they owed, that I was collecting it for him.
Who told you that?
Stoney.
Who's Stoney?
Well, that's all I know him by, Stoney.
And you were collecting money for him, is that it?
Uh-huh.
And you expect us to buy that, too, don't you?
No, I guess not.
Well, then why don't you try giving us the truth?
Well, look, now, May, I'm not the brightest guy in the world. If I was, I wouldn't be in this mess.
Yeah.
I come to you of my own accord, didn't I?
Well, maybe you got scared. Maybe you figured it'd go easier with you if you gave yourself up. Isn't that it?
Yeah, I guess I can't blame you for thinking that. Sure was a dumb trick.
Well, why'd you do it then?
Because I didn't know, because he told me it was just a job I was doing.
Mm-hmm. Stoney told you.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. All right, now let's hear it your way.
Yeah, well, he said he worked for a kind of collection agency, you know, where they go after them deadbeats, you know?
Yeah.
Well, he said he had to have somebody to help him, only part-time, but the pay would be good.
Yeah.
Offered me the work.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't had a steady job lately. Sound kind of good to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to meet him yesterday afternoon, 3 o'clock. He picked me up in front of the place where I live.
Yeah?
Drove me past that grocery store. Parked around the corner. Gave me an envelope, and he told me to take it inside, hand it to a fellow who worked there. He said I was to make sure nobody else was in the store on account of he didn't want to make the old guy feel bad by collecting the debt in front of somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
So I done what he told me. I give the old guy the note. He give me the money, and I took it back to Stoney.
Well, where was he while you were in the store?
Well, around the corner, like I said.
Why didn't he go in with you?
He wanted to see if I could handle it myself. On my own, you know. That's what he told me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we drove over to that there flower place.
Same routine.
Yeah, only this time I got kind of suspicious, you know.
Yeah.
She acted so scared, the lady there. It didn't seem to me that having to pay up a debt would make somebody so scared. I told Stoney afterwards. He said it was just an act that they all put on like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I didn't exactly believe him, so next place we stopped, I opened up the envelope before I went inside, and I read that there note.
Yeah, well,
I didn't know what to do. Finally, I went back to the car, and I really told him off, Stoney. I told him I wasn't no thief. I told him he had to return all that money.
What did he say?
He just laughed at me. He said I was the biggest pigeon he ever met. I said if he didn't take back the dough, I'd go to the cops. He told me you'd throw me in jail, that you'd never believe a word I told you.
Mm-hmm. What happened then?
I got out of the car. I said I wasn't no crook and nobody was going to make me be one.
Mm-hmm.
I was heading right for the police station. Then I got to thinking. I seemed like maybe he was right, that nobody would believe a story like this.
Yeah.
So I went home.
All right, why'd you come in today?
Well, I didn't sleep none too good last night. It was kind of worrying me what I'd done. I figured maybe he'd find some other sucker like me and pull that same stunt over again. I didn't want him to get away with it, so I decided to take my chances on you guys. I'm going to get a short count now, am I?
You know where the Stoney lives?
No, he never said, not to me.
And you don't know his last name either?
Uh-uh.
Well, where'd you meet him?
Hentley's gym. Or on Olympic. I hang out there sometimes.
You a fighter?
Oh, I had some bouts, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how'd you and Stoney get acquainted?
Oh, I don't know. We just started talking one day last week. He come in for a steam bath, and afterwards we were both watching some of the guys work out.
I see.
He was there again on Saturday. That's when he offered me this job.
Mm-hmm. What kind of a car does he drive?
Chevy.
Sedan?
No, coupe, hardtop, last year's model.
You know the license?
No, I don't pay no attention.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't matter if it did. I ain't much at remembering things.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what Stoney looks like?
Yeah, why, he's a big fella, sharp dresser.
How old is he?
35, maybe 40.
Mm-hmm. What color's his hair?
Sort of red.
Anything else? Scars, anything like that?
No.
That's the whole story, huh?
Yeah.
You didn't know you were robbing those stores? You didn't have any idea?
Honest, I didn't. Sounds crazy, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
Joe, talk to you for a minute.
Yeah. You wait right there, Tilden.
Yeah, okay.
You must think we're pretty done, expecting us to fall for a line like that.
Yeah.
What's he take us for?
I don't know.
Couldn't be true, not a word of it.
Yeah.
Heck of it is.
Yeah.
Such a darn fool story, Joe. I just can't help believing it.
Well, we're. So do I. Frank and I continued to interrogate the suspect. He maintained his innocence, and we were unable to shake him. We ran the name Harvey Tilden through R&I. They had nothing on him. We also ran the name Stoney through the moniker file, and we came up with two possibles. We pulled the mug shots and showed them to Tilden. He tentatively identified one of the photos, James Brightstone, but he wasn't positive. We telephoned Brightstone's last known address, a small downtown hotel. They told us he'd moved during the summer, and they had no idea of his present whereabouts. We checked DMV and our own vehicle records. They reported that a late model Chevrolet was registered in Brightstone's name. Harvey Tilden was held in custody for further questioning. 4:08 p.m. Frank and I drove over to Hentley's gym on South Olympic and talked to the owner, George Hentley.
What's right? I'm it.
Stoney, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Full name maybe James Brightstone. We're not sure.
Now move away.
Don't ring a bell. He in a fight game?
Well, we aren't sure.
How about a Harvey Tilden? You know him?
That jerk? Sure I know.
He come here pretty often?
Off and on. Used to do a little boxing. Had a perfect record. 6 fights, 6 KOs. He was punchy before he ever got in a ring.
Tilden says this is where he met this Stoney.
Yeah, it could be.
Take a look at this picture, will you? You ever seen this guy before?
Hey, you got a left hand, use it.
Well?
I wouldn't swear to it. Guy looks something like this. Been coming in lately. Works out, takes a steam bath.
You know his name?
I never asked.
You been around today?
No, not so far.
When was the last time, do you remember?
End of last week, Friday, Saturday.
Are you talking to Tilden?
Oh, I don't know, maybe. Guys come in here, friendly type guys. They all talk to each other.
All right, here's our card.
So?
This fella comes back, give us a call, will you?
Hey, you want him for something?
We want to talk to him.
Okay, if he comes in, I'll call you.
Thanks.
Sure, I'm a real obliging type fella. I got no beef with you cops. Be a waste of time, though. Calling you. If you want to see this guy, all you got to do is turn around.
What's that?
He just walked in the door.
Frank and I talked to the man George Hentley had pointed out. He readily admitted that he was James Brightstone. He also admitted knowing Harvey Tilden. He said he had spent the previous afternoon in his room at the Jackman Hotel. We telephoned the hotel, but the clerk was unable to confirm Brightstone's alibi. 5:31 p.m. We drove the suspect down to the city hall and continued our interrogation.
Look, why don't you guys just tell me what it is you want to know, spell it out in real big letters, and I'll give you the answer, same size.
Where were you yesterday afternoon?
Thought we already covered that.
Let's go over it again.
Okay, boys, I was in my hotel room.
Well, the clerk doesn't back you up.
Well, does he say I wasn't there?
When was the last time you saw Harvey Tilden?
Saturday over at the gym.
Not yesterday, huh?
Gym isn't open on Sundays.
You know where Tilden lives?
Nope.
You picked him up at his rooming house yesterday, didn't you?
Why would I be picking a crumb up like that?
Did you offer Tilden a job?
Oh, that's pretty funny.
What's the joke?
I ain't got a job myself.
Did you ever take Tilden for a drive?
Boys, I'm telling you, the only place I ever seen the guy is Hentley's gym.
Yeah. He knows what kind of a car you got.
Oh?
Make and model.
Well, maybe he's seen me in it. I didn't see him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, this Tilden fella, he's a screwball. He don't even know what time it is. Whatever he told you can forget it.
Well, there are a couple of things we can't forget.
Yeah?
Tilden says you put him up to robbing 2 stores yesterday.
Are you kidding?
He says you hired him to work for you to collect some past due bills.
Boy, this kid is really off his rocker, isn't he?
Maybe.
Where was I supposed to be while he was doing me these favors?
Outside in your car waiting for him.
Go on, boys. You interest me.
Well, that's about it.
And you'd pick up a guy in a phony story like that? Hey, look, I'm getting out of here. Tilden ain't the only guy who's not...
Sit down, Brightstone.
All right, you jokers. Prove any part of it.
We're going to try to.
I'd like to know how.
We got a team out right now checking the neighborhood of both robberies. If anybody saw your car around those stores yesterday afternoon, you got trouble.
I got news for you guys. It don't matter where I was yesterday. You can't tie me into these jobs.
We'll see.
Matter of fact, I'll give you a hand. I might have been driving around those stores yesterday.
Is that right?
Yeah, come to think of it, I went for a ride along about 2 o'clock. Slipped my mind before.
Sure.
Not that I know where Tilden pulled his heist.
You don't, huh?
Sure, of course not.
Then what makes you think you were in the vicinity?
Well, I'm not saying I was. I'm saying I might have been.
Yeah.
Just where were you?
Who knows? It took me a real long drive.
What time did you leave your hotel?
2 o'clock, maybe.
What time did you get back?
Later.
How much later?
All right. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you guys a break.
Good.
Now, I know you can keep this up for 72 hours, and I got more important things to do, so let's get it over with, okay?
That's entirely up to you.
Okay. Tilden was giving it to you square. He was just a pigeon. Dumbest pigeon I ever ran into.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's it. You got it now. What are you going to do about it?
What do you think?
Oh, if you're smart, you're going to turn me loose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look, let me give you a little advice. Free. So Tilden was a fall guy, all right? I admit it to you guys.
Yeah.
But to nobody else. Anybody else asks me, I deny it, the whole thing. So you might as well play smart. You figure on sticking me with this rap, you got to have a signed confession. I ain't going to give it to you.
Well, now maybe we won't need it.
Boy, you got the biggest rocks in your head. Tilden was in those stores. I wasn't. He took the money. I didn't. You go into court, you come out looking dumber than he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's my word against his. You think anybody in their right mind is going to believe this boy? You think he'd stand a chance of convincing the jury?
Well, he might.
Fat chance.
He convinced us.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On January 8th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
The date, June 19th. The man in question, Father. The gift for Father's Day, Chesterfield. Make it a point to pick up a couple of cartons, first chance you get. It's the easiest way I know to put a smile in Dad's smoking, and a nice way to remember a great guy.
The district attorney failed to issue a complaint against Harvey Tilden. James Hill Brightstone was tried and convicted of robbery in the second degree, 2 counts. Robbery in the second degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state prison for not less than 1 year. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Vic Rodman, Virginia Gregg, Eddie Firestone. Script by Frank Burt. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely different Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspapers for the day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
This is it, L&M Filters. It stands out from all the rest. Miracle tip, much more flavor.
L&M's got everything.
It's the best.
Notice the color of L&M's Miracle Tip. It's white, pure white, to give you the purest and best filter. And L&M gives you a rich, good-tasting, fully satisfying smoke, the kind you can get only from highest quality tobaccos. Buy L&M. It's got everything: flavor, taste, mildness, and the best filter. L&M.
A courageous chaplain, honored as Mr. Citizen, thwarts a prison break and converts a juvenile delinquent to a new way of life. Don't miss Mr. Citizen this week. Check your local TV listings for time and station. Hear Dragnet next week, same time, same station.
Hear Biography in Sound on the NBC Radio Network.
My name's Regan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Sunday at 8:30, and CBS brings you Jeff Regan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Regan, with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's transcribed story, No Sad Clowns for Me.
There was a tall clown and a short clown juggling this one, plus a sleek but overaged destroyer named Ruth that wore tights and trained tigers. All parts of a big circus playing a small town of 649 people. And somewhere along the midway, a joker wanted to cut me down to size. 6-foot box size. I wasn't thinking about the circus when I went to the Detective Bureau Wednesday morning, but my boss was. The Lion was up to his knuckles in...
Green, my boy. I've just about decided to have our whole office done over in green.
Why the sea of $1 bills?
A client, my boy, with payment in advance.
Those bills look like they've been papered in a rat's nest.
They're all in pieces, my boy, but they're good.
You'd know.
Yeah, of course. Notice when I hold this one against this 300-watt light, the paper's made with silk threads. Fitting the torn bills together, they come to $67, Jeffrey.
And the client is...
See this canvas bag?
Bottle top?
It's full of nickels, dimes, and quarters, Jeffrey. With the $1 bills, it makes a very nice retainer of $75.
For which we do what?
Nothing.
Oh, wait a minute, Fatso. You mean a client walked in here, laid down $75 to hire us to do nothing?
Exactly.
Duck, there's a curve on this pitch.
No, my boy. The whole thing's perfectly legitimate. Our client walked in about an hour ago.
Description?
Well, he was a tall man, eccentric.
Go on.
45 or 50 years old, long, pale, stringy, yellowish hair, like an actor, and oddly dressed.
This keeps getting better.
Well, he had on a single-breasted pinstripe suit and tennis sneakers, a rope for a belt.
Does he fly?
What? No. Anyway, Jeffrey, he put the money down. He saw I was worried about the small denominations, and then he said, "It's not brass." Just like that.
It's not brass.
Circus expression, my boy. Then he leaned right over this desk and said slowly, showing his big teeth, Jeffrey, "When a little old man named Crackley comes in, don't take his case."
And you went for that?
Of course. We do nothing, no trouble at all.
Lion, it could be we're in trouble. Give me our client's name and address and the retainer. I'll take it back.
Well, unfortunately...
Don't tell me. You didn't get the name and address.
Well, you see, my boy, he was in a great
You
hurry.
gave him a receipt for the 75?
Oh, of course. Everything very businesslike.
That ties us into the case, but good. Now, no matter what happens, we're mixed up in it.
You're borrowing trouble.
We bought it.
Oh, relax, my boy.
We got to get that receipt.
Forget it. Just be grateful.
Okay, Lion. But if Crackley shows up, be careful. I turned and started for the door. I knew client was a crank. We'd have to be more than careful. But I couldn't dump the trouble into the lion's lap. I slammed the door on my way out. The noise made a little old guy jump. He was standing in the hall, just outside our door. It wasn't hard to figure who he was. Crackley?
You know my name?
Well, I do now. You're on your way into the Lion Detective Bureau.
Yes.
I'm Regan.
The Lion's Eye?
That's what they call me.
You're the man I came here to see. You were highly recommended.
I'd like to talk to you, Crackley. I know a place they'll let us sit down for 50 cents.
I could use a drink.
I thought maybe. We went to Dugan's bar. Crackley was a little guy, but smart, almost sharp. He had an outdoor face, tanned with deep wrinkles like closed eyes in his forehead. Like he had a lot on his mind, and he wanted to talk.
I'm the owner of a circus, Mr. Regan.
Congratulations.
Well, you don't understand. I don't know if you can imagine the responsibilities of a circus owner. To his employees, I mean. They're all specialists. And if we were to close up and go out of business, well, there'd be no place for them to go.
Except another circus.
Oh, circus business has fallen off since the war years, Mr. Regan.
I hadn't heard.
Business is terrible.
Yeah, sure.
Another drink, gentlemen?
No, thanks.
No, I don't.
Now, why did you come to the Lion Detective Bureau?
I want you to find a man named Bliss.
Why?
Well, Bliss has been investing in my circus.
Putting money into a losing proposition?
Oh, it's not unusual. People that love the circus, especially wealthy people, enjoy putting their money into things that give them pleasure.
Bliss is missing?
Oh, for the last 3 weeks.
And the money has stopped coming into the circus?
Well, yes, Mr. Regan.
When did you last see Bliss?
The fact is, I've never seen Bliss.
But he puts money into your circus?
Through his lawyer. Right now we're playing Bliss's hometown. I'd hope to meet him in person.
Yeah. What would you say, Mr. Crackley, if I told you a strange man came into our bureau this morning and paid us not to take your case?
Why, someone's following me?
Well, I don't know, but... Yeah, Mr. Crackley, someone's following you.
Mr. Regan, what are you looking at?
You mean, what is it looking at us?
Where?
Stay put, I'll be right back. I ran to the window. The face that had been peering in at us whipped out of sight. A couple of winos in Dugan's door cost me 2 or 3 seconds getting out, and that was enough. When I got to the street, it was empty. The man with the long, stringy, yellowish hair who'd been watching us was gone. I went back into the bar. That's when I got a second surprise. Crackley was gone, too. A quick call to Billboard gave me what I needed. The Crackley Great Combined Circus was playing a town of 650 people. A place called Crossroads in the foothills, about a 2-hour drive from L.A. The crank with the yellow hair on the rope belt was somehow tied up with that Crackley circus. Yellow hair had the Lion's signed receipt. I had to get it back. So I got into my car and headed for Crossroads. And when I got there, funny thing, The town was deserted. But the Circus Midway was jammed. It looked like Crossroads' whole 649 population was at that circus.
Hot dogs, hot puppies, they're delicious, they're nutritious. Step up and get one.
How much?
Eh?
A hot dog, how much?
Oh, yeah, hot dog. Hey, you mean you're going to buy one?
Why not?
Nobody buys nothing in this cheap burg.
Business looks pretty good to me. Everybody in town here at the circus.
Don't cost them nothing.
Oh, no?
Old Crackley's putting on a show for nothing. Making it look good for Bliss, his silent partner.
The show's papered then. Annie Oakley's for free, huh?
Say, you Bliss?
And if I am?
I ain't said nothing.
Yeah. How much for the hot dog?
2 bits.
I paid for the hot dog, walked along the Midway asking questions wherever I could get an answer. It's like the dog peddler had said. Crackley had papered the house, bought tickets for everyone in town to guarantee business. We weren't supposed to take the case, but the situation was interesting, and I got to wondering about Bliss, how he fitted in. But then I remembered I was here to get our receipt back, so I bypassed the Midway, walked around to the performers' tents. No gaudy signs here, no freak shows, palmists or ballet. And I found a woman. Or rather, she found me.
Regan?
Nice to be known.
This is my tent, Mr. Regan. Please come in.
She was tall, slim. You could spend time watching her. Young, but not too young. Her hair was long and black, almost to the roots. Her face was firm, beautiful, but her eyes had already been there and back. Then we were in her tent, nobody around except the tigers just outside. And she got nearer, and I could see more.
Regan.
Nice tent.
I got a message.
Uh-huh.
Go home.
That's your message?
Go back to L.A., Crackley says.
You a friend of Crackley's?
He saw you on the Midway. He said, that's Regan. That's the Lion's Eye from L.A. that ought to go home.
You sure it wasn't Bliss?
You know Bliss?
Oh, yeah, a very close personal friend of mine.
You're clever, Regan.
It's my business.
Make sure your business doesn't get you into trouble.
Hey, that tiger's close.
Yeah, I work the big cats. They hate me and I hate them. I like them kept near me. Gives me a chance to whip them through the bars whenever I'm feeling blue.
Lady.
Yeah?
What's your name?
I got a surprise for you, Mr. Regan.
I've had lots today.
My name's Crackley.
You're married to old Crackley, the circus owner?
I married his son, Mr. Regan.
His son?
Yeah, George Crackley. The little runt that's standing in back of you.
I turned. George was there, all right. And he was little, maybe 4 feet 10 inches tall, wearing a clown suit. His face was in queer makeup, chalk white, bruised blue. He was supposed to look like a sad clown. And he was.
What are you doing around here?
Looking for a man.
She look like a man?
No.
You're after my wife, too. You were standing real close.
Guys fall in love with me, Regan. My husband's a poor sport about it.
Oh, make sure you don't wake up dead, mister. Make sure you don't get dropped on.
I'll be real careful.
George, if you don't get out of here...
Ruth, don't you think it's time you were getting into your costume? The walk-around will begin in 4 or 5 minutes.
A tall clown filled the opening to the tent. When he spoke, Ruth began fumbling with the costume. Little George looked like he was going to cry, then walked out of the tent without a word. Ruth followed him. And I was left alone with a tall clown in makeup, with a red watermelon mouth and cold blue eyes.
I hated to interrupt, Mr. Regan, but Ruth must dress for the walk-around, as we of the circus call our opening parade.
You seem to have an effect on George, too.
Oh, George and I are partners. He's the sad, bruised clown, and I am the cruel clown. I frighten him, mauled him, beat and bruise him with various objects. It amuses people.
Naturally.
We're all sadists at heart.
Maybe you can help me.
I'll try.
I'm looking for a tall, eccentric man. Wears tennis shoes, rope for a belt. Has long, stringy, yellowish hair, you know him?
Oh.
I said, do you know him?
Of course. That would be Mr. Bliss.
Where can I find him?
As a matter of fact, Mr. Regan, I have a message from Mr. Bliss. He wants to see you.
Oh? Who will I say sent me?
Just the cruel clown. He'll know who you mean.
Where do I meet Bliss?
At his home. I'll tell you how to get there.
He did. I got into my car and started the drive to his shack. I'd meet him on his own terms at his place. It was a 15-minute drive, most of the way up a side road. I was almost there when a car pulled into the side road behind me, coming up fast, its headlights glowing in my rearview mirror. I pulled over to let the speedball pass. He began to cut in on me. The trailer he had hitched on sideswiped me. I felt myself go against the steering post. Then I didn't feel anything for a long time. I'd been thrown clear of my car. When I came to, there was a huge man standing over me, black in the moonlight. My gun was gone. My hand caught at a club, and then I saw it wasn't a club, but a small, very small chair arm. Must have fallen from the trailer. The trailer was gone. The man started moving in.
Well, sweetheart.
Stand back.
Coming to, sweetheart?
Get back.
I got your gun, baby. I'm Logan, chief of police at Crossroads. Maybe I ought to take you into custody for reckless driving.
Logan, I'm a private detective from Los Angeles.
Well, why don't you get up from the ground and tell me about it? Here.
Yeah, thanks. Somebody ran me off the road on purpose. I think I know who.
That's so, sweetheart?
That's not all. There's something phony about that circus play in your town.
Ain't no circus around here.
You're real funny.
Fact is, I'll make you a bet, baby. You can't show me no circus around these parts.
You seem sure of that.
Give you 20 to 1.
Let's go take a look.
All right.
We drove in his car to the circus lot. When we got there, we saw the lot was full of color. All of it moonlight. Vacant. Not a candy wrapper. The crackly great combined circus was gone. As though it had never existed.
This is CBS, and you are listening to No Sad Clowns for Me, tonight's adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator.
It started bad, and it got worse. The lion had us balled up in it like a cat in a fish line before I even heard of the case. Then I took over. I did fine. Trying to get our receipt for $75 back, I got myself run off the road near the town of Crossroads, got my car smashed up. Then the chief of police told me that the crackly great combined circus where I'd spent an hour wasn't there. And it wasn't. The chief of police thought this was real funny.
Where'd the circus go, sweetheart?
L.A., probably.
You're kind of slick.
Couldn't have been gone more than an hour. Look at those filled-in post holes.
You're a real bright fella.
And I know why it left in such a hurry.
Oh, you city fellas are real sharp-like.
The circus left because of a guy named Bliss.
You know about Bliss.
Bliss was putting money into a circus, not taking any out.
Keep talking.
Bliss gets tired of this, slaps an attachment on the circus. Crackly pulled the show out before it could be served.
Yeah, you're real smart. You'd better come along with me, sweetheart. We better have a little, talkie.
It hit the bullseye, and I got more than I bargained for. It seems Bliss had no friends, except Logan, who, being the local legal eagle, was also appointed by Bliss as his lawyer, having full power of attorney. Now Logan was ready to talk.
Bliss, now, he ain't no dummy. He was in the circus himself years ago, before he got wise and made a lot of dough in plumbing fixtures. Ain't no money in show business, sweetheart.
They tell me.
Now, Bliss, he ain't old, but he's kind of funny. All of a sudden, he wants to
invest in a circus. His old love. But he also wants to make some money out of it.
Oh, Bliss, he likes money. He married a circus gal years ago. Left her because she was draining away his salary.
How much money did Bliss put into the Crackley circus?
Well, baby, Bliss bought in deep enough to own, 49% of the show.
Bliss isn't getting any money out of his investment, so he slaps an attachment on the show. Crackley gets wind of it, pulls the show out.
You were right up to there, sweetheart.
Talk, Logan.
I got a note from Bliss just this afternoon. Told me to lift the attachment order. It was a real happy note.
Where's Bliss now?
Honest, baby, I don't know. He's queer. He's just gone.
Bliss skipped out on his wife. That can't be his real name.
No, I can't tell you much. Promised Bliss I wouldn't, but his name used to be Elmer C. Bickle.
You got a phone, Logan?
Here you are, baby. But get the charges.
I was getting an idea. Another reason for the show's moving. One thing was sure. Bliss was in it up to his ears. It was 2 a.m. now, and I got the Lion at home.
Yeah, Anthony J. Lion, Detective Bureau, Home Office. We never sleep.
And why haven't you been asleep?
Jeffrey. Well, I've had some very important work to do tonight.
Such as?
Pasting those dollar bills together, if you must know.
You're graduating from kindergarten right now, Fatso. Get your car out.
At this hour?
I'm in Crossroads, California, slaving for the agency, and you can help.
What can I do?
Get all the stuff you can on a guy named Elmer C. Bickle.
Bickle?
Bickle.
Oh.
Joined the circus years ago, married somebody, left his wife. Check variety.
That'll take all night, Jeffrey.
You've got 1 hour. Oh, another thing, Fatso. Check the theatrical hotels, places where show people, circus people put up. And here's what we need. A line on anybody connected with the Crackley Great Combined...
I can give you that, sweetheart.
What?
You what?
I know where they probably hold in.
Lion, forget that last. But check Bickle. I hung up, and Logan said he'd heard the performers in Crackley Circus usually stayed at the Fossman Hotel in Los Angeles. So I called the Fossman Hotel.
Oh, hello.
The desk clerk sounded wide awake.
Fossman Hotel?
Has Mr. Crackley checked in?
Who's asking?
Regan, private investigator.
Well, we certainly could have used a private investigator this morning.
Why?
Heavens, the circus came in without telling us. Everybody's so upset.
You better make sure they pay in advance.
Oh, well, Mr. Crackley paid everything in advance. He has a finest suite of rooms. But there's such confusion. I just don't know what to do.
You wouldn't. Now, about Crackley.
I'll ring. But he's probably asleep anyway.
Hello?
Crackley, this is Jeff Regan.
Oh, Regan.
Why did you run away?
I don't know. Well, I mean, we had to leave because we were so low on funds that the sheriff's office is going to tax the show. We heard of the order and left town to leave their jurisdiction.
Yeah, sure. Well, your worries are over, Crackley. I've found Bliss for you. Bickle, too.
Oh, no, it's impossible. Well, I mean...
Yeah, I know what you mean. It hit me. The circus was making money. Crackley had paid his hotel bill in advance. Fine suite of rooms. Why, he'd probably been keeping a double set of books cheating Bliss. I got Logan, got in his car, and drove back to the deserted circus lot. We drove fast. The circus had pulled out in the middle of the night for another reason. And I knew now we'd better look for that reason. The lot was deserted. Low, cold mist over the ground. Gray morning. A small animal moved through the mist like a creature from another world. A small dog. He'd found what we couldn't see. He had something in his mouth. A cap with a red pom-pom on its pointed end. A clown's cap, stained with blood. Logan had men digging within minutes. One of the filled post holes seemed larger than the rest. This was it.
We found him, Mr. Regan.
Yeah. Let me see his face.
Yeah. Kind of muddy.
Still in makeup. Tall, cruel clown.
You know him?
Yeah. You too. Pull the skull cap off.
Poor Mr.
Bickle, alias Bliss. Long, stringy, yellowish hair like an actor. Only he isn't playing at being dead. Come on, Logan. Keys to your car. I've got an appointment at the Fossman Hotel. I took Logan's car, made the 2-hour trip back to L.A. I phoned the Lion as soon as I hit town. I got the complete rundown on Bickle. Then I went to the Fossman Hotel. I asked the room clerk for old Crackley's room number. It was 203. I didn't wait to be announced. You should lock your door, Crackley. You could get company you might not enjoy.
Well, I've been waiting for you.
I know why you pulled out of Crossroads so fast last night, Crackley.
But I don't know anything.
I found Bliss.
I'm not interested in Bliss anymore.
And maybe you're interested in Bickle, the tall clown.
Now, please, Mr. Regan.
Bliss joined the circus under his real name, Bickle, to check up on his investment.
The tall clown was Bliss?
Yeah. He was eccentric, but not eccentric enough to throw his money away. But he got more than he bargained for.
No, please, now leave me alone.
He's dead, Crackley.
Dead. Yes, dead.
You pulled out of Crossroads last night because a man was killed and buried there on the lot.
But I didn't kill him.
But you know who did?
No.
I had the Lion check on Bickle. It seems he married a Ruth Sandusky in Chicago, April 18th, 1930. Now, Ruth Sandusky was only a kid then, featured in an animal act.
My son George married her in good faith, Mr. Regan. I was against the marriage.
Where's George now?
But I can't tell you.
I left him back to his suite of rooms, checked the front desk for George's room. Was told he lived in his own small trailer. But when he was in town, he always parked it down by the circus warehouse. That's where I headed. The circus warehouse was down by the tracks. It was a raw wood building that had fallen in on its bones. Most of the circus trucks had unloaded. Things were pretty quiet. I got out of the car, walked around. The rear of the warehouse was parked a small trailer, beat up. The one that had forced me off the highway near Crossroads. Inside, I found Ruth. Ruth Sandusky.
Regan.
Married Elmer C. Bickle in Chicago, April 18th, 1930.
You're a real bright eye.
You kind of like being married, don't you, Ruth? So much you get married twice.
Girl needs a man.
With money.
Bickle ran away from me the week we played Chillicothe. The only way I knew he was alive, he used to put crazy ads in the trades every Christmas.
You'll be sitting pretty when old man Crackley dies and George inherits the circus.
Oh, I try not to think of such things.
Bickle joined the circus 3 weeks ago. He recognized you, wanted you again, moved in on George. The thing is, you were still married to Bickle. You'd kind of overlooked getting a divorce, which meant you weren't legally married to George, meaning you had no future claim on the circus.
You won't tell George. I'll make it worth your while, Mr. Regan.
Trouble is, lady, George saw Bickle, the new clown, moving in on him. And easily, too. You were afraid to hold Bickle off, afraid he might yell bigamy. Real cozy for you, Ruth. Both husbands, clowns in the same act.
You better stop talking, Mr. Regan.
George had to move out of your tent, sleep in his trailer. He was crazy jealous. That's why he tried to finish me by driving me off the road. He thought I was moving in, too.
Stop it while you still got the chance.
Bickle said, come back to me or I yell bigamy, and you killed him.
Stop it!
Only one thing, lady. You didn't know that Bickle and Bliss were the same man.
Bliss?
Yeah, the angel. The guy that was pouring all that money into the circus.
Bickle was Bliss. I'm still married to him, legally.
That's almost right.
Yeah. Yes, it was bigamy. What do I want with George now? As the wife of Bliss or whatever he called himself now, I'll inherit all his dough.
You killed Bliss.
What? Crackley thinks his son did it. George will go to the gas chamber for me. I'm a bigamist, Mr. Regan, so give me 2 years.
No, you won't get rid of me that easy.
George.
I heard what you were
Little George, the sad, bruised clown, stood in the doorway of the small trailer. It was like he didn't see me, only Ruth, his almost wife. But he'd heard
I
plenty.
thought you killed him because he was molesting you.
Shut up, George.
I thought you killed him because you loved me.
You stay away from me, George.
Ruth ran out of the trailer, followed by George. He slammed the door to hold me back. I got the door open just in time to see little George slip into the circus warehouse. I ran after them, fast. Inside the warehouse, it was dim. There was the sharp smell of circus animals. Little George was flexing his muscles for the first time in his life.
I won't let him get you. I'll take you from the gas chamber.
A superhuman strength had come into him. He had Ruth by the hair and was forcing her into an animal cage. The tiger was crouched in the corner of the cage, ready to jump. I grabbed both George and Ruth by the hair and pulled them back. I kicked the cage shut.
Why didn't you let me finish?
Sorry, George. The state will want witnesses when Ruth finishes her act. In the gas chamber. That wound it up. I called Sanducci of homicide. When they came to take Ruth away, I saw little George, the fall guy, standing near his trailer, all alone. 2 hours later, I checked in with the Lion at the office.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
Still at the paste pot, Lion?
Oh, yes, my boy. I've just finished pasting the last bill together. The silk threads match perfectly.
Nice, neat job.
Oh, Jeffrey, you just don't know how hard I work for our future.
Uh-huh. Bank should take these all right.
Now, I slaved all night, my boy.
The only thing, money doesn't belong to us.
Yeah, I think I'll just press the bill so the bank will be sure to... What?
Money isn't ours.
But Hey, what do you mean?
I got a call from Logan. Says he found your receipt in the Bliss shack. I had to tell him we got the $75 to keep us from taking the case.
Oh.
So the Bliss estate demands its money back.
It's all your fault, Jeffrey.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
If you hadn't opened
Well, I guess I'll just have to keep this 100.
Yeah. Well, what's that you have?
$100 bill. Got 2 more, just like it.
Jeffrey. But who?
Oh, Crackley gave it to me.
Well.
He thought his son George had killed Bickle. When we proved it was Ruth, he gave it.
Oh, how could I have ever doubted you, Jeffrey?
Oh, another thing, Lion.
Yes?
Meant to tell you, those bills you pasted together?
No, I worked so hard over them.
Well, the bank would have fitted the bills together for you.
Yes. Oh, no!
Jeff Regan, Investigator, is written by William Frug and Gilbert Thomas, directed by Sterling Tracy, and stars Frank Graham as Regan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. Original music is by Dick Arant. Jeff Regan, Investigator, is transcribed each week at the same time over CBS. Bob Stevenson speaking, and inviting you to be with us again next Sunday at 8:30 for more suspense and mystery and adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A 6-year-old girl has been taken from the streets of your city. There's no lead to her whereabouts or to the identity of the kidnapper. Your job? Find them.
It was Monday, May 1st. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. I was on my way back from the business office, and it was 7:28 p.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide squad room.
No, the hair was a little thicker. You know, more of it.
More like this?
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Short, real short.
Now, what about the eyes?
Well, they were kind of close together. Hi, Joe.
Hi, where'd Frank go?
Chief Brown called. He went down there.
How you doing?
Good. Hey, take a look yourself.
Yeah,
that's it. Right on the old button, yeah. A couple more eyebrows.
What?
More eyebrows, a couple more. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Say, this fella's pretty good. A lot better than those guys at the beach.
What's that?
Guys at the beach, you know, they draw your picture while you wait 2 bits, something like that, and they draw your picture. This looks just like the guy that took the girl.
All right.
Sure feel bad about that. I really do.
Sir?
I was just sitting there, you know, folding up the papers from my route, just sitting folding, and all of a sudden I see this thing happen right in front of me.
Yeah.
Car just pulled up to the curb, and they grabbed the girl.
There was more than one?
Huh?
You said they grabbed the girl.
No, I just said that. You know, like an expression. It didn't mean there was more than one. Just said that. You know how you do.
Yeah.
Just one. Kid. That's what he was. Young kid. No forehead. Just Like a park.
Joe?
Yeah. I just talked to Chief Brown. He wants to know how the picture's coming.
About finished. Why?
Looks like we might need it right away.
Huh?
The family just got a ransom note.
The suspect was described as WMA, 26 years old, 5 feet 8.5 inches in height, and weighing about 140 pounds. At approximately 3:10 that afternoon, he'd approached a private school in the Hollywood area and forced Grace Marchand, age 6, into his car. The only witness to the kidnapping had spread the alarm, and in a matter of minutes, every police officer in the area had the description of the man and the car he was driving. Word of the crime had gone out to all policemen in Southern California. They were all looking for a little girl. Units from Juvenile Division, working under Captain John Powers, joined in the search. A roundup of known deviates was started. All available information sources were tapped, but in spite of our efforts at the end of 4.5 hours, the child still hadn't been found. 8:02 p.m. Frank and I drove out to the house. We parked our car in the next block and walked to the Marchand residence, where we met with Captain Powers and the missing girl's parents.
Thought we could talk in here. Marchands are pretty upset.
Yeah. What about that note?
It's downtown. Leighton Prince are going over it. How'd he get here? Kid brought it.
What about him?
16 years old, lives in the neighborhood.
Where'd he get it?
Says a man approached him in the drugstore at the corner, asked him to deliver a letter.
Mm-hmm.
Gave the kid a buck, boy didn't know what was in the letter.
What did it say?
Got a copy of it. Here.
You want to see your kid alive, get $50,000 in small unmarked bills ready. You'll get a phone call. Don't tell the police, don't tell anyone. If you do, forget about your daughter.
How was it written, Captain? Words were cut out of the evening paper and pasted on a plain white sheet.
Anything there?
We don't know yet. As soon as Leighton Prince are through with it, Larry Sloan is going over it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about this Marchand? Can he swing that kind of money?
Yeah, I guess so. He says he will.
Are they going to go along with us?
I'm not sure. Mrs. Marchand would like us to get off their side.
Well, how about him?
He wants his daughter back.
Well,
Are you going to talk to him?
I guess we better. What about the phone? Did you make arrangements to have it covered?
Oh, yeah. There's an extension in the study. You can use that. It's close enough to the one in the master bedroom so we can talk to the Marchands while they're on that one.
Okay.
Anything new turn up downtown?
No, still questioning deviates.
Well, we've taken the kid who brought the note downtown. Going to have him check the mug books.
And we better let him see that drawing, too.
Yeah.
What about the house? You got it covered?
Pretty good, yeah. There's a team from Hollywood across the street, another one out in the back.
Where are they?
One across the street's in a neighbor's house. The other one's in a car out back.
Okay. Let's go, huh?
Yeah, they're in the living room.
All right.
How are they taking her?
Rough. There you go.
We've got to get them out of the house. I know they're going to ruin everything.
No, just calm down, dear. How are you, Captain Powers?
Mr. Marchand, this is Sergeant Friday and his partner, Frank Smith.
How are you, sir?
How do you do? This is my wife.
How are you, Miss Marchand?
Is there anything new? Have you found her yet?
No, ma'am, not yet.
I told you they aren't going to get her back. All this mess is just going to make it worse.
Take it easy, dear.
Send them away. I know.
It'd be all right if I take her upstairs.
Yeah, sure.
Come on, honey. Now, why don't you lie down? Try to get some rest.
Is that going to bring her back?
Crying's not going to do any good, is it, dear? Now, come on.
Until you get them out of the house, I'm not going to get her.
Maybe it might be better if you waited out in the kitchen. I'll try to get her calm.
All right, sir.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Here, come on, dear.
You told them.
Yes, I did.
Let's go.
They're not doing anything, and then something else.
She's taking it pretty hard.
Yeah.
So they called the doctor?
He's on his way.
Have they gotten the other children?
Yeah, boy, 10.
Where's he?
Her sisters, Marchand, took him over there this evening.
Well, there's 6 teams from Metro standing by, 4 from our detail.
How about the sheriff's department?
I talked to Dick Tiernan. They're with us all along the line.
Good.
This season's bad. I hope the doctor gets here pretty quick.
Is there anything we can do?
You know the answer to that one.
Well,
you like some coffee?
No, thank you.
No, thanks. No, I'm going to make some anyway.
All right.
I'm sorry about my wife.
That's all right, sir.
Taking the whole thing pretty hard.
You made any arrangements to get the money, Mr. Marchand?
Yes, I called my brother. There's nothing we can do about it tonight. The first thing in the morning, we'll get it together.
We'd like to be with you.
What?
We'd like to help you prepare the money.
I don't know quite how to say this.
What's that, sir?
Well, I know you men are trying to help, but I don't want you interfering with the payoff.
That's going to make it a little difficult.
Maybe so, but that's the way it's got to be.
All right. That's the way you want it.
Well, it is.
You know it's not going to make much difference.
What do you mean?
Well, the kidnapper probably knows we're working on the case already. He's counting on the fact that you won't go along with us.
What is it you want to do?
Well, we'll help you get the money ready, take the numbers of the bills, and prepare the package.
We don't want to endanger your daughter's life. As far as we're concerned, you can go right ahead with the payoff when you're contacted. But if we can help now, it'll make it easier after the money's been paid.
On who?
Huh?
Who's it going to be easier on, you or Grace? You're going to make sure we get her back? You willing to write insurance on that?
There's no answer to that question.
That's the whole point. We want our daughter back. I don't care what we have to do or how we do it, as long as Grace is back. That's all that's important.
We can understand that.
I know what you're trying to do, and I appreciate it, but this is our problem. I don't want to take any chances on something going wrong. As soon as we hear from the man who has her, we'll do what he says.
Then you're not going to let us help, huh?
No. And I think it might be better if you called your man off.
You're making it hard for us.
I'm not trying to, but can't you understand? All we want is our girl back. It doesn't make any difference how it's done as long as she's home. That's all that counts.
What about the man who took her?
That's your problem. As soon as Grace is home, I'll go along with you on whatever you want to do. But until then, I don't want you meddling.
Thought you said they'd gone.
They're just leaving.
You're not going to be happy until she's dead, are you?
That's not true, ma'am.
Well, it looks like it. All these policemen, the whole thing, a lot of noise, nothing more. You're not doing any good. Why don't you get out?
They're leaving, dear.
When? After they throw Grace up on the front lawn? Is that when they'll go?
Wait, honey, now.
All right, ma'am, we'll leave.
Get out! Go on! Don't stand around!
All right, now that's enough, Mabel. They know it. All right, now calm down, will you? This isn't going to do any good.
You're around. You haven't done anything to make things fine. What good ain't doing?
I'm afraid you better leave.
All right, sir, we'll talk to you later.
As soon as we get Grace back,
What was that, sir?
I say, as soon as we get Grace back, I'll call you.
Yes, sir. You're sure you won't let us help?
No, you better go now.
Well, now what?
I guess we wait.
Yeah.
What about the surveillance? You can call it off?
No, I don't think so. We'll check it with the skipper.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot easier if the Marchands had let us help them.
At least we know what was going on. Give us a chance.
Yeah.
This way we're in the cold. Nothing we can do.
I wonder if it makes any difference.
Huh?
Maybe we lost already. We contacted the office and talked with Captain Lorman. We told him what had happened at the Marchand home. He instructed us to keep the place under surveillance, but not to interfere with the movements of the family. Officers in the area were asked to stay away from the house. If the kidnapper wanted to make contact, we would do nothing to stop him. 8:46 p.m., Captain Powers stayed on at the scene, and Frank and I went back to the office. We met with Captain Lorman and Chief Detective Thad Brown.
You can't count any cooperation from the family, then?
No, I don't think so. Father might go along with us, but Ms. Marchand is dead against it.
Mm-hmm. How are you going to handle it, Lorman?
Keep their place under surveillance? Wait for them to make a move?
Mm-hmm. Important thing is not to burn them.
Yeah. When do they figure to pick up the money, Joe?
Marchand said tomorrow morning.
What business is he in?
Contractor. Got a company with his brother.
They do a lot of work in developments. Just finished a big section out in the valley.
You won't have any trouble raising the money, then?
No, it didn't seem to bother him.
Yeah. What are you going to do about that?
The money?
Yeah.
Well, first thing in the morning, we'll try to get in touch with his bank. Make arrangements to have the serial numbers on the bills noted.
Crime lab able to do anything for you?
Well, we check with them. Should be some way we can make it easier.
And the important thing is to get the girl back. Once we know where she is, we can move a lot faster.
Yeah.
Homicide, Lorman. Yeah. Uh-huh. Want to give me that address? Yes, sir. Right away. Goodbye. Native's coming over to our side.
What do you mean?
That was Mr. Marchand.
Yeah?
He wants to see you right away.
Frank and I left the office and drove over to the address Mr. Marchand had given us on the phone. It was an all-night restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard. We found him in a booth at the back of the place.
Hi, Mr. Marchand. How are you?
Sit down, will you?
Heard anything new?
No. The reason I called, I got to thinking after you'd left. The way we acted isn't going to help any. It's not going to make it any easier on anybody.
That's right.
Mabel and I talked it over. She still isn't too hot on the idea, and I'd appreciate it if you could do what has to be done without her knowing too much about it.
We'll do what we can.
I don't like to have to put this kind of restriction on you, but right now there doesn't seem to be any other way.
We understand. Have you heard anything else from the kidnapper?
Not a word.
Mm-hmm.
Don't imagine he'll try and contact me before I've had a chance to get the money.
No, sir. When do you figure on getting it?
I'll call my bank at 9, try and make arrangements then.
We'd like to be there when you talk to him.
All right. What do you plan on doing?
Well, first we want to get the serial numbers on all those bills.
I'm sure they'll cooperate.
We'll check with our crime lab. Maybe something we can use to prepare the money so we'll be able to recognize it a little better.
They'll probably want you to make up a special package, too.
Well, I'm not going to try and tell you your business. I guess you know what you're doing.
Well, we hope so.
I'd like to ask a question, though.
What's that?
You think she's still alive?
Well, there's no way of knowing that.
You've handled this kind of thing before. You know what the odds are. What do you think?
I don't know.
I think it's so much easier if we knew.
Yes, sir.
It just seems like she has to be alive. I can't imagine anyone would hurt a little girl. I just can't imagine it.
Yes.
First time she's ever been away from home. She doesn't get along with strangers too well. Poor little kid. I'm sorry. I'm acting like an idiot.
No, sir. More like a father. We took Mr. Marchand back to his home, and then Frank and I checked out for the night. The next morning at 7:30 a.m., Henry Marchand, Frank, and I met with Ray Pinker in the crime lab.
Have you talked to the bank yet?
No, we figured we'd check with you. Find out what you were going to want.
Mm-hmm. How's the money going to be paid?
We don't know yet. There's only been the one contact.
Yeah, saw that yesterday. What's the best way of working the deal, Ray? You're going to get the numbers on the bills?
Yeah.
Well, the note said to get the amount in small ones. I guess that means 5, 10s, and 20s.
Probably.
Be quite a few to work with, won't it?
Doesn't make a lot of difference.
What are you going to do?
Well, we can dust the package and the money with silver nitrate.
What'll that do?
In a matter of time, the moisture from the suspect's hands will combine with the silver nitrate and turn him white.
How long will it take?
Depends on his body chemistry.
Well, about how long?
Could be 3 or 4 hours. I wouldn't count on it happening that fast, though.
Well, how easy is it going to be to spot?
Not too hard. Stuff looks almost like a white talcum powder.
To wash off easy?
No. Should last around 3 to 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Depends again on how easily he sweats, how often he washes his hands, and how hard he tries to get it off.
Yeah. Is there any chance he'll spot it?
Can't miss it once it starts to show.
Well, then he'll know there's something wrong. He might try to do something to Grace.
Well, we might as well face it, Mr. Marchand. If she hasn't been returned in 3 or 4 hours, it's probably because he doesn't mean to give her back.
I suppose so.
As soon as you get the instructions on wrapping the money, let me know right away. We'll get it ready.
What are you going to do?
We'll mark the paper the money's supposed to be wrapped in.
Why?
So we can identify it. If he wants the package out of newspaper, we got some on hand. Got some new brown wrapping paper, too. I think we're pretty well set on that score.
I don't understand why you're doing all this.
Well, if the suspect gets away from the meeting place, we've got to have a way to pick him up.
Well, how's the special package going to help?
We'll be able to prove it's what the money was wrapped in. Make it easier to be sure we got the right man.
Shane was as confident as you seem to be.
How do you mean?
That we're going to catch the man.
Well, once he picks up the money, we've got everything on our side.
You're going to have the pickup area staked out?
As much as we can. Depends a lot on where the contact is made.
Mm.
Right after the payoff, we'll secure the area. Nobody will get out.
Ray, is there any way we can mark the car? Hard to say. We could use paint. A lot of things we don't know about the setup. Be easy to figure them after we've got all the information.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody can get close enough to the car, we can drop a capsule of paint on top of it. Put a copter in the area, and you shouldn't have any trouble picking it up.
Sergeant Friday?
Yeah.
Phone for you, Sir Officer.
Thank you.
Take it over there, Joe.
Okay. Which line?
3.
Thank you. Friday speaking. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. What? We'll be right over. Now it's beginning to go.
What do you mean?
Kidnapper just called.
Yeah?
He's ready for a meet. The second contact by the kidnapper had been made by telephone. He talked to Mrs. Marchand and instructed her to tell her husband to have the money ready by 6 p.m. that evening. He went on to say that another call would be made giving instructions for payment of the ransom. Mr. Marchand, Frank, and I talked with her about the call, and then we had a meeting with Captain Lorman and Chief Detective Thad Brown. It was decided to go ahead as the kidnapper had ordered. At 9:02 a.m., we got $50,000 from the bank. We went back to the city hall and talked to Captain James Fisk. He assigned 6 girls from the record section to aid us. We divided them into 3 teams of 2 each, one calling the numbers on the bills, the other typing a list. At 3:45 p.m., the job was finished. The money was taken to the crime lab and dusted with silver nitrate powder. Because we didn't have the final instructions on the delivery of the ransom, Ray Pinker gave us a supply of plain newspapers and brown wrapping paper. Both types were marked so they could later be identified in court. He also gave us pellets of dark and light paint in the event we had an opportunity to mark the kidnapper's car. 4:30 p.m., we got in touch with Dave Robart at the Sound Lab and made arrangements for 3-way radio equipment. Chief Detective Thad Brown contacted Army authorities, and with their cooperation, we had a helicopter standing by in the event it was needed. Teams of men from Metro Division and Homicide Detail were planted in the area around the Marchand home. And at 5:15 p.m., Frank and I, along with Marchand, drove out to his house to wait for the third contact from the kidnapper.
Red 1 to Red 6. Red 1 to Red 6. Come in, please.
Red 6 to Red 1. Do you read me?
Yeah, Jack, you're coming in fine. Who's riding with you, over?
Tilden. You got any word yet? Over.
No, nothing. We'll talk to you later. Red 1 out. Well, that's it, Joe. They're all in position.
And now we got the tough part.
Yeah, wait.
Say, all these cars, isn't there a chance the kidnapper might see them?
No, sir, they're scattered all over the area. Matter of fact, none of them can even see the house.
Hope it works out.
Well, everything's going with us so far. Keeps up, we shouldn't have any trouble at all.
Yeah.
Is your wife all right, Mr. Marchand?
Yeah, I guess so. She's upstairs. The doctor gave her something to make her sleep. Didn't want it, but he figured it was best.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't anything she could do to help. This whole thing's been pretty hard on her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when it's over, we'll take both kids and go out of town for a vacation. The rest will do her good.
Yes, sir.
Been pretty rough on her.
I'll get it. Just a minute, Mr. Marchand. Give us a chance to get that other phone.
Well, you can use the one in the breakfast room through that door.
All right. Now, don't pick up the receiver until you hear me say now. You got it?
All right, any way you say. Can't I answer it now? He might not wait.
Just a second. Now.
Hello? What? Oh, yes, Sam. No, I can't right now. No, yeah, uh-huh. Look, Sam, I'm expecting an important call. Can I talk to you tomorrow? I'm sorry about it. Yeah, sure. No, it's nothing else. Yeah. All right, Sam, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, bye. Sam Nicholson wanted to know if I could play golf with him in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Thought at first it might be the kidnapper.
Yeah.
Wasn't. Not sure it was him. Well, I wish something would happen. Just waiting will drive me crazy. You know, if we just knew she was all right, that's all. If we just knew.
Yes, sir. All right, let me just get that other phone. Wait till I say now.
I know it's him this time.
Now.
Hello? Yeah, that's right. No, I was in the back of the house. What? No, the line isn't tapped. No, it isn't. I give you my word. Yeah, what about Grace? Is she all right? Yeah, I got it. Uh-huh. No, it's here in the house now. That's right, $50,000. Yeah, wait a minute. I better get a pencil. All right, go ahead. Yeah. Uh-huh. No, I know where it is. Yeah. All right, I'll try and find something. No, I'll find something. Yeah, all right, I'll leave as soon as I can. No, I won't bring anybody, I swear. Yeah, will you have Grace there? Hello? You heard it.
Yeah.
We better get started.
You got the map?
I'll get it. He said Grace was all right. Did you hear him say that?
Yes, sir, I did.
He said she was okay. Well, I hope he was telling the truth.
Yes, sir, so do we.
You know, it's been a long time, Sergeant, but I guess you never forget how.
What's that?
To pray.
The man on the phone had instructed Mr. Marchand to attach a piece of white material to the front of his car and to drive north on Highway 101. He said that near Zuma Beach he would indicate his presence by flashing the headlights of his own vehicle. Marchand was to pull over to the side of the road and walk halfway to the kidnapper's car. After a wait, the suspect would approach Marchand and take the money. At that time, he'd give us information on the girl's return. 6:10 p.m., all of the cars in the operation were told of the latest developments. It was decided that I would hide in the back seat of Marchand's car with a walkie-talkie and keep contact with the other officers. Frank and Captain Powers would be directly behind us in Unit 1K80. As soon as we made contact with the kidnapper, they would try to take the suspect into custody. The money was wrapped in the brown wrapping paper, and at 6:14 p.m., Marchand and I went out to his garage and got in the car. He drove out Sunset Boulevard to the Pacific Coast Highway and turned right. We drove for about 40 minutes. There was no sign of the kidnapper.
Red 2 to red 1. Red 2 to red 1. I'm in red 1.
Red 1 to red 2, over.
How's it going, Joe? Any sign yet?
No, we're approaching Zuma Beach. Should be pretty quick now.
Friday, there's a car up ahead. I can just make it out.
Stand by, Red 2. I think we made contact. How about it, Marshal?
Yeah, that's it. He just flashed his lights.
Frank, we just made contact. Better take it easy.
Okay, Joe, keep us posted.
Can you see us?
We can just barely make out your lights. We're about a half a mile behind you.
Right, Red 1 out. Now, how about it, Marshal?
It's him. He flashed the lights again.
Okay, do what he said. Approach slowly. Try to get as close as you can.
All right.
But do exactly what he says. Give him the money and try to find out where your daughter is.
Yeah. He's driving off.
What?
He's leaving. He isn't going to wait. I'm going to stop him. I'll stop him.
What are you doing?
Hang on. We're going to hit.
You all right, Marchand?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm all right.
The door's stuck. Can you get the front one open?
I think so. I'll try. I think I can get it open.
Right here, let me through. You all right in there?
Hey, is he hurt? I had to stop him. There wasn't any other way he was going to leave.
All right, give me a hand with this door.
Yeah, sure. There wasn't any other way he was going to leave.
All right, come on.
Leave me alone. Get away.
Come on, get out of there.
I can't. I think my leg's broken. I can't move it.
Will you tell where Gracie is? Make him tell.
Leave me alone.
All right, come on, out.
Please leave me alone. I can't stand it anymore.
Where's Grace? Where's my daughter?
Wait till we get him away from the door.
I want to know where she is. If you don't make him tell me, I'll do it myself. I'll kill him if he's hit her. I'll kill him right here.
All right, come on, give me some help.
Kill him. Just leave me alone with him, that's all. Just leave me alone.
That won't make it any better.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you run into me?
You tried to take off, didn't you?
I got scared. I wanted to get out. I didn't want to go through with it.
Is the girl all right?
You going to get me a doctor?
You're going to do something about my leg. You got to do something.
All right, we'll take care of it. How about the girl? Is she all right? Come on, mister. Don't make it any rougher on yourself. What about the girl?
I'll make it tell. I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
All right, come on. Now, where's the girl? Is she all right? Answer me. Where is she?
All right. She's okay. I didn't touch her. I didn't hurt her at all.
Where is she?
Hotel downtown. She's okay. Hotel downtown.
What hotel?
The Piedmont. Room 506.
You in this alone?
Yeah. There's nobody else. All alone.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah. How about the kid? Piedmont Hotel, room 506. Better get a call out on it right away.
I'll take care of it, Frank.
Okay, Captain. Hey, Joe, you got a bad cut in your forehead.
Yeah, I must have hit something when we crashed.
Yeah, we saw it from back there. We didn't know what was happening.
You better call an ambulance for me.
We'll take care of it.
You better do it fast. I don't know how much longer I can stand it. It's broken. They'll never be able to fix it. Never.
All right, let's go.
You've got to carry me. I can't walk. Probably won't be able to walk again.
You won't have to.
Huh?
You're not going anyplace.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On September 16th, trial was held in Department 89, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Martin Francis Langer was tried and convicted of kidnapping for the purpose of obtaining ransom and received sentence as prescribed by law. On recommendation of the jury, he was sentenced to the state penitentiary at San Quentin, California, for the rest of his life.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service. Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the forgery detail. For the past 6 weeks, a man has been passing phony payroll checks in your city. You've got a description but no positive identification. The check forgeries continue. Your job? Stop them.
It was Tuesday, May 17th. It was windy in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of forgery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Welsh. My name's Friday. We were on our way back from lunch, and it was 1:13 p.m. when we got to room 29. Forgery.
Yes, ma'am, that's right. I see. Hold on a minute, will you, please? Hey, Joe. Yeah? Skipper wants to talk to you and Smith.
Right, thanks.
Well, just one thing, ma'am. Could you tell me what kind of account it is? Yes, ma'am, I understand that. Is it a
Come in.
account? Well, in that case, your husband's got a perfect right. Hi, Skipper.
You want to see it?
Yeah, sit down. I guess you know what's on my mind.
Oh, we got a pretty good idea, yeah.
Corner Pocket had me in this morning. Been getting beats from all over town. Factories raising Cain because their employees can't cash legitimate payroll checks.
Merchant's scared to death of being stuck with a phony. Making any headway on this guy?
Not much.
Well, just where do we stand? Lay it out.
Well, he passed another one last Tuesday, a tailor shop on South Jefferson.
How many does that make?
Well, 24 that we know of.
All in the last 6 weeks?
Give or take a couple of days.
You sure they're from the same guy?
Same MO, same description.
A couple of times had a woman with him. Said she was his wife. We sent out circulars on them both.
Any results?
1 or 2 leads that didn't pan out.
What about your informants?
Nothing.
They're holding out?
I don't think so. I don't think they know him.
Captain Welch. Yeah. Yeah, they're here. Uh-huh. I see. Okay, give me the address. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry, I'll tell him. 24 bum checks, huh?
That's right, Skipper.
That's wrong.
Huh?
25 now.
On April 6th, we'd received the first report in this series of check forgeries. A grocery store on the corner of Oakwood and 3rd had cashed what appeared to be a payroll check from the Jeffers Carner Aircraft Company. It was marked payable to Russell J. Foreman. In our investigation, Frank and I had learned that the check was fictitious and that the company had never employed anybody by that name. We had also learned that bona fide Jeffers Carner checks were printed in a different manner and in a different color. During the next 5 weeks, we'd received additional reports of forged payroll checks supposedly issued by various Los Angeles manufacturers. In each case, the suspect had had what seemed to be good identification, either a driver's license or an employment ID card from the company named on the check. The suspect had never used the same name or the same plant twice, but descriptions given by victims had indicated that the forgeries were all the work of one man. On 3 occasions, he'd been accompanied by a woman who had been introduced as his wife. Victims had been unable to make an identification from our mug books. Descriptions of both suspects and their MO had been checked with the stats office and had been sent to CII up in Sacramento. A local and an APB had been gotten out. The 25th victim was Alvin Driscoll, owner of a men's clothing store on South Maryland Avenue. Frank and I interviewed him at his shop. He told us that the forged check which he had cashed appeared to be from the Elderdale Oil Refinery.
I come into the store, bought a couple of items, give me his payroll check to pay for them. That's all there was to it.
That was last Friday?
Friday morning, along about 9:30 a.m.
What was it he bought, Mr. Driscoll?
Sports shirts. That count over there. Marked down to $2.98. Some of them was as high as $5 last year. They're real good buys, believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, medium. That was his size. What else can you tell us about this man? How's that? What did he look like? Well, like I said, he takes a medium shirt. That'd make him pretty average. About 170, I'd judge. Black hair, a little bit of gray in it. Pleasant face. Ordinary fellow.
How was he dressed?
Suit, shirt, button-down collar. Suit was a charcoal brown, about the shade of that one on the rack over there, down at the end. See it? When he gave you the check, did you ask for any identification? Well, I didn't have to ask. He just handed it over. He had a whole wallet full. Driver's license, union card, whole wallet full.
Well, that may have been forged, too.
Well, it looked genuine to me.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't any way of my knowing it was phony. I done just what I was supposed to, everything. Make sure you get identification of your cash check. That's what the bank says. It's what you police fellas say, too, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm still out $100, ain't I?
Looks that way, doesn't it?
Mr. Driscoll, is there anything you can tell us about this man? Well, no, nothing that comes to mind.
Did he have a car? Do you know that?
Yeah, I know.
Well, did he?
Brand new Ford convertible, one of them two-tone models. Probably wasn't even broke in yet, but that sure don't keep him from gunning it when he went barreling out of here.
Are you certain about this?
About what?
Well, that he was driving a new Ford convertible.
Well, I guess I know one when I see one. I'm considering buying a new Ford myself. Not like that snazzy roadster he had, a sedan, maybe. Had me a demonstration drive a couple of weeks ago.
I see.
Oh, my. Now I'll probably have to make out with my old clunker another year, thanks to his bum check. Oh, sir, did you happen to notice the license number? On the convertible?
Yes.
Yes, I noticed it.
Well, do you happen to know if it was a California plate or an out-of-state?
It's California.
Do you remember the number?
Now, what do you fellows think I am, anyway? You expect me to memorize a whole string of figures like that when I only seen them once? I ain't no quiz kid.
Yes, sir.
When you're my age, you can't keep every little thing in your head,
Yes, sir.
Would it really make any difference if you was to have that license number?
Well, yes, sir, it might.
Then I guess it's a good thing I jotted it down.
victim, Alvin Driscoll, checked his files and showed us a carbon copy of the sales slip for the items which the suspect had purchased. On it, he had noted the license number, R1V15347. 3:38 p.m. Frank and I went back to the office and asked the EMV to run down the number for us.
That's right. 5347. Mm-hmm. Will you call us back? Okay, thanks. It'll be a minute or two, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we might be getting our first break.
Yeah. Well, you got a cigarette?
Yeah. You all out?
Well, I wouldn't be asking if I wasn't.
Oh, okay. That doesn't mean anything, Joe. Here you go.
Here.
No, go ahead, keep them. I got another pack.
That's all right. I'll get some more.
Well, I told you to keep them, Joe. There's only a couple there.
Matter of fact, there's only one.
Oh.
Thanks anyway.
Sorry. Marjorie Smith. Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. Myson? M-Y-S-O-N? Yeah, I got it. Uh-huh. 117. Huh? You sure? Yeah, I see. Okay, thanks. Well, DMV came up with a car to match that plate. Uh-huh. There's one thing wrong. It isn't a brand new Ford. Oh? It's a 6-year-old Buick.
The Department of Motor Vehicles had reported that the car bearing license number R1V15347 was registered in the name of Philip B. Meissen at 117 South Pelham Avenue. Records showed that the car in question was a Buick sedan, which had been manufactured 6 years earlier. We ran Meissen's name through R&I. They had nothing on him. We also ran the license number through our auto records to check to see if it was a stolen plate or a hot car. The report was negative. 4:09 p.m., Frank and I drove out to the Pelham Avenue address. It was a small one-story bungalow with rain-streaked stucco walls. Try it again.
Yeah, who is it?
Police officers.
Well?
You're Miss Philip Meissen?
Yeah.
Miss Frank Smith, my name's Friday.
All right, your name's Friday, his name's Smith, my name's Meissen. Where's that go?
We'd like to talk to you for a minute, Miss Meissen.
You mean you want to come inside?
Well, it might be a little easier to talk there.
Nobody's stopping me.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to sit down, you have to clear off a space. I'm not much of a housekeeper.
Sorry, we can stand.
Suit yourself.
Miss Meissen, is your husband home?
Phil?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-mm.
Do you know where we might get in touch with him?
No.
You must have some idea.
I haven't seen him since last March.
Oh?
What kind of a car is he driving?
Ask him.
Did he ever own a Buick sedan? License number R1V15347.
Why?
We'd like to know where the car is now.
It's out in the garage, and that's where it's staying. You can tell that lousy crumb if he thinks he's going to take the car away from me. He's got another thing coming.
Your husband isn't trying to take your car.
Yeah? What are you doing here?
We'd like to check the license plate, that's all.
You sure that's all you want, just to check the license?
That's all.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll get you the garage key.
Thank you.
Sorry if I gave you a rough time, but you can't blame me. Sorry if you're like my husband. He'd have to try anything.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, here you are. You sure you lock it up when you're done?
Yes, ma'am. I'll take a look at it, Joe.
Right.
Well, I might have known it was too good to last.
Ma'am?
Not hearing from Phil for over 2 months.
Is he still in Los Angeles, would you know?
Not if he's got good sense.
What do you mean?
If he's smart, he'll stay as far away from me as he can.
Yeah.
He's just plain lucky I didn't kill him. Giving me a shirt with some other dame's lipstick on the collar, expecting me to wash it out. I should have throttled him with it.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have a picture of your husband, Miss Mason?
Why?
We'd like to know what he looks like.
Like a bum, that's what.
Do you have a picture?
Snapshot, maybe.
Would you see if you can find one for us?
All right. Just looking at him will probably spoil my supper. Yeah, here's something. I'm married to a face like that, and I have to worry about other women.
All right, if we borrow this for a couple of days?
Do me a favor. Keep it.
Sure.
Excuse me, Miss Mason. Yeah.
That's the right license plate for wrong car.
Buick sedan?
Just like BMV had at 6 years old.
Okay.
Here's your key, ma'am.
You locked up tight?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry if we bothered you.
Oh, forget it. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Not that I give a darn, but how about telling me why you're so interested in Phil?
It was just a police matter.
You don't think he pulled a job or something?
Why should we think that?
You shouldn't. If you do, you're way off base. You really picked the wrong guy.
Yes, ma'am.
Take it from me, if a jerk like Phil ever got out of line once, just once, you boys wouldn't have to go looking for him.
Oh?
No. You'd catch him red-handed.
Frank and I left the Meissen home and contacted Alvin Driscoll. He confirmed his description of the suspect's car, but he admitted he might have been mistaken about the license number. We showed him Meissen's photograph, and he was certain that Meissen was not the man who had passed the forged check. The next day, May 18th, we showed the Meissen photo to several of the other victims. They all agreed that he was not the forger. 11:17 a.m., we went over to DMV and began to try variations of the license number Mr. Driscoll had given us to see if we could come up with a late model Ford convertible. 12:32 p.m.
How you doing?
Well, I turned up a couple of Fords, no convertible.
I've switched the last two numbers every way I can think of. What are you working on now?
V15.
Okay, I'll try the 53 part of it.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
New Ford, only one digit off.
Convertible?
Yeah.
Sounds like it might be it.
It's pretty hard to tell you.
What do you mean?
Belongs to a car rental agency. DMV records showed that a vehicle similar to the one we were looking for was registered to the C.P. Adams Auto Rental Agency on South 6th Street. 2:17 p.m. Frank and I went over there and talked to the owner, Clifford P. Adams.
Would you give me that number again, please?
It's R1V35347.
All right, I got it. Now, if you'll just give me a moment to check our records.
Yes, sir.
Now, we have a stock of over 50 cards. It's a little difficult to remember all the license numbers.
Yes, sir, it would be.
Here we are. It seems you're quite correct. That's one of our automobiles, a new Ford.
Can you tell us what model it is?
It's a convertible, yellow and black.
Uh-huh.
Most of our cars are convertibles. When people come to Southern California, that's what they all want.
Yes, sir.
Anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, is that car rented right now?
Well, I couldn't say offhand. Would you like me to find out?
If you will, please.
Be glad to. Be glad to. It's a different file, that's all.
I see.
Let's see. Oh, yes, this is it. No, that car's in the shop today. Grease job, oil change, regular checkout.
Do you have the names of the people who've rented it lately?
You're right here on the card. Any particular date?
How about last week? Thursday.
Thursday. That would be Mr. Waters, Mr. Gerald Waters. He used the car all last week, just turned it back yesterday.
Your regular customer?
He's rented from us several times, as I recall, on and off during the last month or so.
Can you tell us what he looks like?
Well, actually, I've only seen him once or twice. He's a youngish man, about 40, tall, black hair, a little gray at the temples.
How about his wife? Did you ever meet her?
Yes, she picked up a car for him once.
Would you describe her, please?
Well, I think she was blonde. Nice looking, probably in her 30s. That's about all I can remember.
Do you have their address, Mr. Adams?
Oh, yes. We try to get all the information we can about our clients, but I'm afraid it's in a different file.
All right, take your time.
Someday we'll have to work out a more efficient system for all these records. Thompson, Tucker, Berger, Waters. Yes, this is it. Home address, Springfield, Illinois.
What about here in town?
Oh, we have that, too. The Haven House Motel on Sunset Boulevard.
I see.
But I'm afraid you won't be able to reach them there.
Oh?
When Mr. Waters turned in the car yesterday, he asked us to drive him and his wife to Union Station.
Yeah?
Yeah, he said they were leaving town.
We got a sample of the suspect's handwriting, and we asked Mr. Adams to get in touch with us if he heard from Gerald Waters again. We sent a teletype to Springfield, Illinois, requesting any information they might have about Gerald Waters. The next day, May 19th, the Springfield PD replied that a man answering Waters' description was wanted for a series of Illinois check forgeries. They also said his true name was Fred H. Joyce. They said that they were forwarding a mugshot airmail special delivery. The mug arrived on Friday, May 20th. We showed it to 4 of the check victims, and they all positively identified the photograph. 3:36 p.m., Frank and I drove over to the Adams Car Rental Agency to confirm the identification.
Hi, Mr. Adams.
Well, this is quite a coincidence.
Sir?
You're coming here today. I just called you a little while ago.
We didn't get any message.
Well, I didn't leave any message. I wasn't sure it was important.
Well, what was it you wanted?
About Mr. Waters. You told me to let you know if I heard from him again.
That's right.
Well, I did.
What's that?
He wants to rent another car.
We showed Mr. Adams a mugshot of Fred Joyce, and he stated positively that Joyce and Gerald Waters were the same man. He also told us that Waters had called the car rental agency about 11 o'clock that morning to make arrangements for renting a new convertible. Joyce had asked him to have the car ready at 5:30, and he said he would pick it up. Frank and I waited in Adams' office, 5:28 p.m. Want to go ahead and answer?
C.P. Adams Car Rentals. Who? Oh, yes, just a minute. It's him, Mr. Waters, or whatever his real name is.
Let's find out what he wants.
Yes, Mr. Waters. Oh, yes, it's all ready. I thought you were going to pick it up. Oh. Well, I don't know. Hold on a second. He says he's tied up, that he can't get away. He wants us to deliver the car.
Ask him where he's calling from, will you?
Where are you, Mr. Waters? I say. Well, I don't know. I'm a little short-handed today. I'll have to check. That phone booth somewhere in Wilshire.
Where does he want you to send the car?
Where do you want the car delivered, Mr. Waters? Mm-hmm. The Crest Plaza. How soon? I guess we could make it by then.
Tell him to be to him.
All right, Mr. Waters, we'll do our best. Thank you very much. You'll be in the bar at the Crest Plaza Hotel at 6:30, just off the lobby.
Right, thanks a lot.
Oh, about the car, I wouldn't want it damaged.
Don't worry, Mr. Adams. You don't need to send it.
What?
We'll take care of his transportation. We went over to the Crest Plaza Hotel. It was 6:28 p.m. when we arrived. There were two entrances to the bar. Frank went in through the lobby, and I used the street door.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Got any hot coffee?
Yeah.
Black, please.
That all you want?
Yeah, that's all. Not very busy tonight, are you?
Place livens up later on.
All right.
Evening. Hi, you two guys together?
That's right.
He wants coffee too, huh?
Yeah, Black.
Figures. Okay, sports. I'll get it.
You see him? No, he's probably not here yet.
There you are.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. That'll be 20 cents.
All right. There you are.
You sure you don't want anything to drink?
No.
Well, would you mind finishing the coffee over in the booth?
What do you mean?
Well, it's not good for business.
Why?
We sell booze, not coffee. Other customers come see us sitting here swilling coffee, so I'll give them ideas. Thing like that catches on, the place will go broke.
We're police officers.
What?
Police officers.
Well, what are you doing here? Something wrong?
A couple of questions we want to ask.
Yeah, about what?
Take a look at this picture. I'd like you to tell us if you know him.
Wait a minute, let me get some light. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen this guy around.
Does he live here in the hotel?
I don't think so. He comes in once in a while, though. Usually drags a blonde around with him.
Mm-hmm.
You guys been looking for him long?
Quite a while, yeah.
You must be looking in the wrong places.
What do you mean?
You just walked through the door. That's him.
Let's go.
How about dry martini, eh? A couple of them will set pretty good for dinner, huh? Yeah? Something you want?
You Gerald Waters?
What?
Gerald Waters, is that you?
You from the car lot?
You come up with the first answer, mister. How about the name?
Yeah, I'm Waters. Where's the car?
We won't need it. Police officers, you're under arrest.
What are you talking about?
You keep out of this, honey.
All right, come on, Waters, on your feet.
You better take it easy. You're liable to find out you're rousing the wrong guy.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to run that risk. Get up.
Okay.
Keep your hands on the table.
I don't know what this is all about, but I know you haven't done anything wrong, Gerald. Whatever happens, I'll stick by you. I'll get a lawyer. I'll raise the money somehow. Whatever happens, I'm never going to leave you, Gerald.
Don't worry about it, lady.
What?
You're coming along. We took the two suspects into custody and drove them down to the city hall. 7:08 p.m. We turned the female suspect over to a policewoman who we searched, and we brought Joyce into the squad room for interrogation.
All right, Joyce, take everything out of your pockets. My name's Waters. You know that. We know it's Joyce, too. Go on, empty.
Lay the stuff on the table. Where do these keys fit?
Lockers.
Where?
I forget.
Sure.
Listen, why are you holding my wife? She hasn't done anything. If you think you can frame me, go ahead and try it, but turn her loose.
That's not up to us.
Why not?
She's been with you too often.
What do you mean?
When you were passing those phony checks.
Phony checks? Is that what you think I've done?
There are about 25 people who say it was you.
They're wrong, that's all. Dead wrong.
They don't think so.
Are you willing to go to court? I better shut up.
Ever been in Illinois, Joyce?
What?
Springfield.
What do you know about that?
You're in the upper brackets, Joyce. We got the whole story.
Come on, Joyce. It'll make it easier all around.
How about it?
Where's Myra?
She's all right.
Where is she?
Right down the hall.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
We can get together on this thing. We can come to an agreement.
Go ahead.
What if I admit the whole deal? Tell you all about it.
Yeah.
What about Myra? Will you let her go?
That depends.
On what?
How clean she is.
Oh, she'll stand any kind of a look. She's never been in any trouble.
Mm-hmm. And she doesn't have anything to worry about.
Go ahead with the story. Okay, I'll get on your side. I'm the guy you're looking for.
We knew that going in.
Whole thing started right after Myra and I were married.
Yeah.
Was making pretty good money, enough to give her the things she wanted. You know, she's a pretty girl. A woman like that's got to have nice things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it happened. Just all of a sudden, the bottom seemed to drop out of the whole company. You mean your business? Yeah. The whole thing just seemed to explode. No matter what I did, it was wrong. Nothing worked.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't let Myra know about it. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
I tried to borrow the money, talked to all my friends, tried to get them to stake me again.
Mm-hmm.
All I could see of them was their backs. I had to do something.
So you started hanging paper.
It was the only way, the only one.
Do you have any more checks?
Yeah. Keys there. They're for a locker downtown. You'll find all the stuff there.
Okay.
All right, now how about it?
What?
Now, you let Myra go? She didn't know anything about it, not a thing. She didn't have anything to do with it, I swear to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to hold her, are you? Now that I've told you the truth.
Forgery, Friday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where? Okay, thank you. They just checked your wife's prints, Joyce.
Why'd they do that? You aren't going to hold her. You gave me your word. You don't want her for anything.
A couple of other states do.
What?
You aren't the only husband she's had, and you aren't the first forger she's worked with either.
What kind of a double cross is this?
No double cross. She's got a record as long as your arm.
That's a lie, a dirty, lousy lie.
Oh, take it easy, Joyce.
Still a lie.
Figure it out for yourself. Take a good look.
What do you mean?
Did your wife know anything about the checks?
Sure, after we got going. Wasn't any way to keep it away from her.
How about when you started? She know then?
No.
You sound pretty sure.
Maybe you talked it over with her, huh?
I don't know, maybe.
She might have helped you out a little then, huh?
Maybe some of the operation was her idea.
How about it, Joyce?
I don't know. I don't much care anymore. Maybe it was her idea. Maybe she did play me for a sucker.
Sure sounds that way to us.
Doesn't really make any difference if she did. Take a look around you, cop. Everybody's a sucker. Everybody in the world is going to fall for a con game sooner or later. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys that cash the checks for me. Suckers, every one of them, just like me. Look at all the money they're out.
Well, there's a big difference.
Huh?
That's all they're out.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On August 17th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Frederick R. Joyce, alias Gerald Waters, was tried and convicted of forgery, 5 counts. Forgery is punishable by imprisonment for a period of not less than 1, nor more than 14 years on each count.
Just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.